What's good, ladies and gentlemen? I am your humble host, Dave Smith. This is Recency Bias Radio, where no one is safe from criticism. And this is the 24th rant, the Kobe rant, if you will. We just got done with the LeBron James rant with my good sir, my brother, Andrew Miller from the Big Brother Canada show. He came through and shut shit down. I truly appreciate him doing what he did a week ago, because a lot of people don't do that. You know, they don't look out for the lower guy on the totem pole. I truly appreciate it, and I'm sure my fan base and the people that really rock with RBR the long way appreciate that, Drew. So thank you. In this episode, because it's called Prepare for Battle, my job is to set you all up for Wednesday and Thursday, baby. That's my job. I'm supposed to set you up for this battle back comp. And you know me, the only way for me to set everyone up the best way I know how is to talk that hot shit. And they explain things in ways that, let's be real, no one else in this community is really doing. I mean, we got people that are trying to, but they're playing catch up while I'm pushing that bar a little bit further. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get Sunday's episode out the way. We can get into the notes a little bit later. But I do want to intro this a little bit cold by giving my hot take on this week and this season as a whole. For the past few weeks, people have been telling me, they have been trying to convince me. Matter of fact, let me go to YouTube real quick and make sure y'all can hear me properly. Shout outs to the mighty mods. I'm just going to check real quick because, you know, this stuff be tweaking sometimes. All right, let me just check real quick. Give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I'm looking at the playback. Okay, I can hear myself. All right, that's all I need to know, ladies and gentlemen. All right, to give you guys a cold opening on how I feel about this week, it's pretty simple. I hold Scotty accountable for what led to his demise, and I will hold Faisal accountable for his demise, ladies and gentlemen. For all of the people that didn't like how Scotty was treated last week, oh, you guys are going to appreciate this week. Now, I'm not going to be completely diabolical against Faisal because Faisal is coming into a gunfight with a damn pocket knife, okay? That is what it is. And they designed and casted him for this sole purpose. So I want to drive this point home, ladies and gentlemen. So when we get to discussing some of these fees, when we get to discussing some of the stuff that happened on Sunday, I mean, there was some stuff that I noticed from this HOH competition alone that was blatant rigging. And if it wasn't blatant rigging, it was them omitting things from the edit that could imply blatant rigging. And then you got the whole Tyler and Angela thing. Now they're a thing. Everyone wants to call them Tangela. Y'all do know that's a fucking Pokemon, right? Tangela. You know what I'm saying? We're going to call these two a Pokemon now? Okay, whatever. Whatever floats your boat, coach. But the reason why I'm really thumbs down on this season now is because the season's predictable and it's boring. Yeah. I know some people were expecting me to say this, but let me explain a little bit further here, ladies and gentlemen. I expected, okay? I didn't expect Haley to win this HOH against like 6 people. I didn't expect her to win this HOH, but I at least expected it to be an HOH comp that was winnable on her end. This comp was notorious last season for being the one that rigged the game for Paul to just completely yoke everyone. Wasn't this the competition that basically got Jess out the game? You know, wasn't this essentially what this comp was? Wasn't this the comp that happened right when Cody left the first time? And I think Jess was by herself against all these people, which started an argument, which led to her talking shit, which led to production coming over the intercom, telling her to stop being that confrontational. I believe she was confrontational with someone after that comp. Can't remember if it was Christmas Rousey. It was somebody, though, to the point where production had to come in and calm the shit down because even they were scared, okay? Well, this competition is known for rigging things, okay? You know, you got a whole bunch of people looking for tokens, okay? We saw Sam looking for a token, ladies and gentlemen. And see, this is why I wanted to start off with Sunday night's episode, because did y'all notice how they went out of their way to show Sam handing a token or two to Haley, even giving one to Brett, but they never showed her giving one to Angela, the person who eventually won it. Why is this necessary to point out, Dave? Let me explain. Y'all know me. I can set something up, can't I? If you paid attention carefully to how the line worked in this competition, the order was always like this. Casey, Haley, Sam. No, Casey, Sam, Haley, Brett. Now, somewhere along the way, Sam stops looking for tokens because she has more than enough. She stops getting in line. Then the line ends up being Casey, Haley, Brett. somewhere along the way, somehow the line ended up being Casey, Angela, Haley, Brett. How did Angela get in between them if she still had to roll her fucking ball? I'll tell you, because they hid the footage of Sam giving her a token so she didn't have to run back to the balls while Haley did, leading to Haley missing a spot in line. But do they show you this in the edit? No, because they wanted to seem like, against all odds, Angela pulled through. She didn't even want to win it, Dave. She still won it. Well, she was trying to throw it to someone else, but no one else could do good enough, Dave. This is how great she is. I mean, they are trying to push this Angela Tyler thing like these two are the best male-female alliance we've ever seen. But when you come to my channel and you know what I bring to the table, you know that these two are by far not the best. They're just the most spoon-fed spoiled out of all of the showmances we've seen. Now, maybe they're not more spoiled than Jeff and Jordan was, and maybe Brennan and Rachel. I mean, they basically created a season so someone from that couple would win again. I mean, that's a whole nother unprecedented level of dick riding. But at the end of the day, they never showed Sam give a token away to Tyler, never showed her give one away to Casey, never showed her give one away to Angela. You mean to tell me now maybe some of y'all saw the comp on feeds. Maybe you're here to correct me. But last time I checked, comps like these, they usually cut off feeds anyway. This isn't like an endurance comp they usually show us. Because I remember with Paul, I think they were showing a little bit of it on and off, but for the most part, they kept the comp off because of how rigged it was. Now, I might be wrong, but I just remember that they accidentally leaked audio of them telling Jess not to turn up on people. It wasn't like we had video footage of Jess turning up on people. We heard it leak out. And I'll even bring up some stuff later about some other audio leaking out and maybe having one house guest in a tissy. You feel what I'm saying? But we're gonna push that back. We're gonna backlog that, ladies and gentlemen, because there's a lot of stuff to discuss here. But off this HOH comp alone, ladies and gentlemen, I think it is necessary for me to mention that they did not show her getting a token from Sam. And see, this is important because if we see Sam giving her that token, then immediately what happens? People say, oh, this is Paul all over again. I think production learned their mistake from last time, knowing that it was rigged to Paul. So they said, you know what? This time around, let's just only show Sam give it to other people. That way no one can say it was rigged. If anything, it was rigged for Haley again, you know? And see, the veto comp this week also included balls. But see, my problem is the one competition Faisal needs to either save himself or save Haley. The one competition Tyler isn't competing in. It happens to be the one competition someone with KC's beast mode cowgirl type skill set could excel in, catching a ball. That's all she fucking does for her job, catch a ball. Now, I'm sure people going, well, Faisal played college football. He's a substitute teacher right now. It's not like he's practicing that every fucking week, whereas Casey could be practicing this every week. But you know what I'm noticing? The same people was like, oh, but Dave, the hacker twist was rigged for Haley. So how could you say that them giving them sleeping pills is somehow them rigging it for them? No, it's fair. Remember that shit from a week? Remember that shit from a couple of weeks ago? Those same people quiet now. All of a sudden, it ain't rigged if you choose a competition involving catching balls for a girl who's a wide receiver. All of a sudden, that ain't rigged no more. And see, here's the thing. I think the comp would have been very fair if the rumors are true. They're saying that they had to catch something with their mouth at some point in this competition. See, all right. Now you guys are making this shit a carnival game all over again. You know, if you want to make it about skill and who really wants it, okay, that's one thing. But you guys are picking and choosing, and I think they did that on purpose because Tyler wasn't in it. I think they threw in that extra stipulation of using your mouth or whatever the fuck. We're going to find out on Wednesday what's going on. But from what I'm hearing, Faisal lost this veto by 1 point. So we got to pay attention to this veto competition tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. You mean to tell me the one person production wouldn't mind leaving this week because he provides nothing for them really in Faisal is 1 point short? I don't know, man. Stuff like that, conspiracies kick in. You feel it, dig me? And you know this is a comp. You know this veto comp lasted about 9 hours, ladies and gentlemen. So trust me when I say they're not going to be able to show us every minute of this comp for everyone. So they're going to edit this heavily. And if they did rig it, they're going to edit it a certain way to look non-rigged. The same way they edited the HOH comp to look completely fair, when in reality, it wasn't fair at all. They all could have gave their tokens to the same person and just kept looking. I'll give this group credit for at least attempting to win it on their own. We saw in Paul's season a whole bunch of damn followers and pussies not even go for it. So the fact that these people actually went for it, I applaud them for that much. But this is just something worth me mentioning early in the game. And did you guys notice how the announcer went out of his way to call Tyler and Angela the Hilton Head hotties? What kind of cringe shit is this, coach? Like, this is extra cringe. I'm hearing this from the announcer guy, and usually this guy has way better nicknames than this. He's way more catchy than this. I mean, the alliteration skills are pretty much kindergarten or pre-K. Like, I'm like, bro, what are you doing here, coach? You know what I'm saying? The Hilton Head hotties. First off, you're a guy. The last thing you should be doing is calling another guy a hottie. But that's neither here nor there. I guess the announcer guy is unisex. I don't know. But what I do know is they purposely called them the Hilton Head hotties because they knew they were going to have a segment about them being a showmance later. And what better timing for them to showcase them as a showmance than the exact same week the production wants the only real showmans in the house to be split up. See, they want that romantic edge to be within the plot and within the edit and within the edgic for the rest of the season. And what better team to get behind all the way than Tyler and Angela, the group who I believe full blown has a pregame alliance here. Okay. And if any of you are dumb enough to believe that Tyler all of a sudden just started getting into Angela yesterday because he's lonely, you know, I heard that and I was like, all right, I call bullshit. I call bullshit, coach. You got twice as many confessionals as the next player. Okay. Everyone follows you around because you're lifeguard Jesus to them. You are the last motherfucker, Tyler. You the last motherfucker that's lonely in this house. In fact, on feeds, it sounds like Tyler wishes he had alone time, doesn't it? I'm gonna ask the feedsters. So why in the edit is his excuse for hooking up with her is that he's lonely? That don't even make sense. And what alpha male says he hooks up with a chick because he's lonely? That sounds like some simp shit. So no matter how you twist it, Tyler's coming off like a beta male, even though they're trying to make him more of an empathetic figure. But at this point, you guys have dick rode him for so long while providing no criticism or critique to his game. At this point, it's overkill to try to make him even more sympathetic. Like, oh my God, he has a heart. He's cold on the outside. He's warm on the inside. I'm warm on the outside, but cold on the inside. We're perfect. What kind of dumb shit is this? Okay? This is the most manufactured showmans I have ever seen. And why is it even applauded if they knew each other before the season started? You know, there was actually a clip from feeds maybe a week or two ago where Tyler even admitted to meeting her before outside of the game. I can't remember what exactly he said, ladies and gentlemen, because that was about 2 weeks ago. But you know what the Tyler fans said? They came out real quick. Because see, when it's time to defend their Lord and Savior, they're quick, okay? They're devout Christians, okay? Boy, these motherfuckers come out the woodwork talking about, he was just joking. How do you know if this motherfucker was joking? We ain't getting no confessional yet. Shut your dumb ass up. But see, that's what I be saying, though. You feel me? If I say something without a confessional, you need a confessional to back up your context. If I say something and it don't got a confessional, y'all tell me you don't need a confessional. Which one is it, coach? Which one is it? I mean, this is hilarious to me, bro. I mean, Tyler looks very awkward with a woman, by the way. Very awkward. I ain't trying to come at the man's sexuality or nothing, but you can tell this is such a fake showman's going on. It's so fake. You know, and see, this brings me back because people say, well, Dave, Big Brother doesn't have a history of allowing pregame alliances to win. And then I went, casual alert, casual alert. A lot of Tyler's fans are casuals. Casual alert. Do you not remember Mike Boogie having a pregame alliance with an Erica in Big Brother All-Stars? This pregame alliance saved Mike Boogie's ass in the game. Because to be honest with you, several moments in this game, Erica could have flipped. Erica was flirting with Kaser hard, but would never do it. She never moved on over to the other side. Because truth be told, her pregame alliance job was to be the eyes and ears and watch Kaser, figure out information about him. Why do y'all think Chilltown hated Kaser so much? It wasn't Will. It was Boogie. Kaser was flirting with his girl. I'd argue Boogie handled Kaser in a similar fashion to how Faisal handled Scotty. The difference is they were on opposite sides, so it didn't make Boogie look butthurt. But at the end of the day, production purposely chose Erica, purposely chose Boogie. Remember, Boogie was a late addition to the season. They kept the mirage that by fan vote Boogie made it. That was the whole lie at play here. You mean to tell me him and Erica make it by fan vote at the last second? They both happen to have a pregame alliance, and that's all a coincidence? They both make it to the end, and that's a coincidence? And let's be real. There's people to this day that think Erica would have had a better chance of winning sitting next to Janelle, who was manipulated the whole way out by Will, than she would have had sitting next to Boogie, who Will could have just spoken for in the jury house. So a lot of people truly believe that if Erica would have been the one to get rid of Boogie after Janelle got rid of Will, people would have definitely thought that Erica would have still beat Janelle there because Janelle turned on her own alliance in season 6 to get there. A lot of people forget these things. I truly believe Janelle would have had a bitter jury more towards her than Erica. Erica wins. But why am I mentioning this? Because there's something that parallels Erica's game to Angela's. Are you guys following me now? Are you following me now? Are you following me how I'm setting this table? Erica valued her being accepted by her man more than she valued winning the game. Angela values being accepted by Tyler more than she values winning the game. You know, she had a confessional in Sunday's episode saying, I'm doing this for my game. For my game, I know for my game, it's not good to have all this blood on my hands. And literally like 10 seconds later, Tyler has a confessional saying, oh, I'm glad she won because there's less blood on my hands. So it's almost like production through the edit is making a mockery of their pregame alliance in our face. But it's like no one is peeping game on these signals. No one's peeping game on it. And see, I'm late to watch a lot of these Sunday episodes. You know what I'm saying? Because I try to enjoy myself over the weekend. And I try to catch up a little bit after the fact. That's why a lot of times, you know, outside of the work reasoning, that's why a lot of times I push this rant back because I want to be at full strength and I don't want to be a little burnt out trying to catch up too fast. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, so there's a lot of parallels between Erica and Angela. And there's a lot of parallels, not really between Mike, Boogie, and Tyler, the game players, but the way production is allowing them to get away with bullshit. Mike Boogie wins an overpowered power, never has to use it. Tyler wins an overpowered power, never has to use it. I mean, let's be real. The Power App twist itself is a huge flop. You know, we like this season despite the fact that there were overpowered twists that made the season go too smoothly. You know, in hindsight, if they vote out Sam uses her power, I truly believe we have a whole entirely different season we're looking at here because people know powers exist. Well, not they exist, but they know the power threshold of the power based off Sam's alone. They go, damn, Sam got a power that damn strong? Oh, shit. It like that type level. You see what I'm saying? But see, that's my biggest problem. You guys have had 4 twists in this game so far. You had the hacker, you had the cloud, you had Bailey's. I forgot what Bailey's was called at this point. The identity theft, and then you had the second chance one that Sam had. All 4 of them flops. The hacker only was used because it was forced to be used because it was a 1-week thing each time. And then if you really break it down, the only alliance whose hacker twist actually worked on the opposite HOH happened to be Tyler's side. That's by design. I don't see anyone with a brain. See, here's the thing. That was Haley's HOH week, y'all. That was Haley's. And Rockstar went home. And there's another thing I want to mention, though, because I almost forgot to mention this. Have y'all noticed how every single black player, I'm going to consider Faisal a black player for now because I'm going to put him in a person of color chamber, okay? I'm not going to consider him black, but I just want to point this out. Have y'all noticed every single player that is one HOH or a power equivalent or on that level that has been of color has been sent home the next exact week? Have y'all noticed that? This is proof by design that a black player cannot get anything in this game and lay low after. We can't even lay low without it. So people are confused like, Dave, but with that being said, You spoke so grimy on Bailey's name. No, I spoke grimely on Bailey, the player, okay? But see, here's my thing. I'd rather see Bailey come back into this game, get a second chance. She's been removed for the game for a couple of weeks now. See, I'm looking at it from a perspective of who has the highest chance to work well with Haley to get shit done? Bailey. Scotty isn't that guy. I got people trying to tell me, no, it's Scotty. I said, no. Scotty will fuck around and run to the people he wants to be accepted by all over again. And it's a wash, rinse, repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat, bro. And see, I'd be able to buy some of the shit y'all selling if Scotty didn't apologize to everyone like a pussy on his way out. Now, I get it. Maybe he did that because he thought there would be a battle back. So strategically, he wants people to think when he comes back into the game, he has no problems with anyone. But that would be a bold-faced lie because we all know he'd have a problem with Faisal. And see, a lot of people are suspecting there is a battle back. I think the majority of the reason why they're sending Faisal out the door is to guarantee Scotty won't come back. I think they are so shook on Scotty that they are sending Faisal out, even though it makes more sense to send Haley out. I stand by this, ladies and gentlemen. Tyler is supposed to be this great player. But a great player in Tyler's shoes would see Haley must go first. Tyler even mentioned it on the feeds. He whispered it to JC about a week ago that just keep this between me and you. Haley goes first. That's what he said. But now Angela's HOH, she clearly wants Haley gone before Faisal because Haley actually nominated her. But Tyler is even okay with seeing Faisal go, which makes me think this is 100% production's doing because it goes against Tyler's best interests to keep Haley over Faisal. Haley is the only person who can make it to the end from the Hive side and actually win, and that's including whoever comes back. She is the only person left who can threaten that entire side at the end because she has her entire alliance. I believe that she has 5 people from her alliance in jury. Wait, hold up. Or she might have 4 in jury. Hold up. Okay, all right. Bailey, Rockstar, Scotty, Faisal. One of them come back. That's still 3 in jury. And let's say she makes it to the end without that other. Okay, so that is 4 in jury. So that means she would only need 1 other vote to win the game there. Okay, and depending on who she's sitting next to, Brett might give her a vote. Depending on who she's sitting next to, I'm trying to think. Maybe a woman like KC gets talked into giving her a vote by Bailey. I don't know. But the point is, Haley is she's the last hope. She's the last hope, bro. like real talk. She is Rey from Star Wars Episode 7. Okay, she is the last hope, coach. She's the last of the Mohicans in this mug. Okay, so we need Bailey to come back, and it's because at the end of the day, Bailey is really the only person, synergy-wise, that can work with Haley and Sam. Really think about this for a second. Sam, now that she's privy to this information, which I'll get into later, at the end of the day, who else? Sam probably could work with Faisal, but hates Haley. So who gets her to not hate Haley as much and still work with her? It won't be Scotty because she'll always think Haley is playing Scotty. It must be Bailey. Now, I know what you're thinking, maybe Rockstar, but Rockstar isn't going to be the one that can bring Brett over. See, I think Bailey has the chops to be able to convince Sam over with Haley and her. And now all they got to do is work together, the 3 of them, to get Brett. Because I'm telling y'all this right now, a resetted week, final 8, Bailey's in the game now instead of Faisal. Okay, first off, that's a net positive for anyone that wants to see drama, anyone that wants to see Tyler a little sweaty. This is great for him. I mean, Angela, she is showing us how much of a coward she is. After she nominates Haley and Faisal, she runs right upstairs. And, you know, as soon as she sees Haley working out, she runs to the door and locks it in the HOH. Is she coming up here? You know, this is a 21-year-old girl you're scared of. But you're supposed to be some fitness model. You know, when I think of fitness models, I think of someone with a little edge to them, someone with a little toughness. I'm not getting that from you, okay? But this lets me know if you're scared of Haley, oh, you're definitely scared of Bailey. And that's why we need Bailey in this game. Because Bailey makes those 2 spoiled brat girls on that side of level 4, she makes them uncomfortable because she knows their bullshit. Like, she knows them. She knows their tails at this point. She knows that all. So if she comes back in, oh, that compromises KC. Now KC got to act like she didn't vote her out. Now KC got to act like she wasn't in on the bullshit. Because see, KC been lying to her the whole time. That makes KC uncomfortable. Tyler's uncomfortable because you got the girl he claimed to like before with the girl he's trying to have a showman's with now. Oh, wouldn't it be beautiful to see Bailey come in, win an HOH, and split y'all up the way y'all split her up with Swaggy? Oh, that would be poetic justice. And you see these websites like Jokers still have Bailey, still have Swaggy last place. You know, how does two black people, how are they back-to-back last place when neither one of them have been in the game in over 3 weeks? You know, how does your hate for them still simmer so strong when they're not even in the public eye? Like, that's incredible to me. And then look at who's first place. Basically all of level 6. You know, even Winston somehow cracked the top 8 or some shit. You see what I'm saying? So it just goes to show. It just goes to show. It's not about gameplay. You know, it's all about whether someone can understand you or not. And they're going to use that to justify whether they're going to continually hate you or not. See, I'm notorious for, after your season is over, I could give a fuck. You see what I'm saying? I don't go out of my way to still shit on people until they try to go out of their way to continue their relevancy. J-Mart. That's when motherfuckers can get the smoke quickly. You see what I'm saying? But that's my perspective on that. But yeah, man, Hundo, man. Let's just call a spade a spade. The showmance is manufactured. It ain't real. The pregame alliance, though, is real. And Angela is way too bitch made. You know, and I'm not in no way trying to be derogatory to her because she's a woman. I'm just saying, period. It's bitch made. To talk that hot shit and then run away. I mean, she was in the HOH. My heart was beating so fast. You can actually hear Tyler laying on her with his mic on his chest, and you hear her do, 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 do. Like, that shit was beating fast. Coach, this man was really scared, though. Like, what you scared for? You know, I feel like a woman that's scared knows she with a nigga that can't protect her, but that's neither here nor there. I'm just keeping it a buck. That let me know she was scared when Bailey turned some shit up on Tyler. Now it explains why you didn't join in that fight. You didn't defend your man. You let your man handle that on his own because you a fucking coward. You a fucking coward, you know? But see, it's crazy, though, because her actions in the game say that she's doing everything she can to be the GOAT that Tyler needs. You know, that's her entire game. Breaking a deal literally less than 7 days after making it with Faisal and Haley. Yeah, I get it. You were going to break this deal regardless, and they're dumb for making the deal with you. The point is, you made the deal, and instead of throwing the HOH, that way you're never perceived as breaking the deal, you pulled the even more egotistical, cocky move of, let me go ahead and win this. You feel me? So you're losing votes by the second. And I'm loving it. But I'm not loving it because it's handing Tyler a $500,000 check. And it really feels like Tyler's going to fuck around and get AFP as well because of how hard they're pushing this guy. I mean, they're pushing him heavy, man. I was alone until I found her. Man, what is this? Lyrics from a fucking Jodeci song? What the fuck is this shit? Anyway, let's get it popping, coach. Let's really get it popping. But yeah, man, I just thought it was shitty, though. You know, for Angela to jump in front of Haley in line that way, and for them not to provide any context how that is physically possible if Haley had extra tokens from Sam. This had to have been after the whole, because if y'all don't know, the HOH count was actually paused for a second. Angela was in the lead. So it must have been paused when she already had 39. That's what I'm thinking happened. I'm thinking she had 39 already, then it paused. Because how could someone be in the lead in this comp if they don't stay where they're at? And Angela didn't stay until she got 39, meaning it didn't pause until after Sam was already helping people with tokens. So there you go. There you go. So the majority of that HOH count was probably spent, well, in the edit, was probably spent after the pause happened. But whatever. But yeah, man, but we're going to really break this down, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to break down later in this rant why I call level 4, level 6, whatever you want to call them, why I call them the coach's kids, and why I call the Hive the walk-ons. This is going to tie into Faisal. You know, each week I try to do a theme with my rants, and this week I'm going to do something real interesting towards the end for Faisal. But yeah, so what another problem I had with Angela is, did you notice how she kept talking like she had a plan B in Sunday's episode? What plan B did you have, Angela? Because I was watching feeds last week. There was no plan B. She never really planned to put Sam up. Don't believe that bullshit. Because every time she had a chance to talk to Tyler by herself, they both agreed that they weren't keeping the deal and that they were throwing Faisal and Haley up. The only reason why they liked the deal was just in case Haley by some long shot won it. And let's be real. Haley almost won that comp twice today, okay? But, you know, when you make it that randomized and that and that incentive based for people to gang up on someone, then that's just a comp. Someone on the bottom is just not gonna win unless they just have the hand of God with them and they just put some backspin on that hoe, something crazy. I just don't see it. Anyway, yeah, so she's talking like she has a plan B. She's talking like she's gonna pin shit on Sam and target Sam. She even promised Faisal at one point, which we'll get into on feeds, that she would nominate Sam and Haley. And see, at that point, Faisal was okay with it because in his mind, he's thinking, I can win veto, take Haley off. We're both safe. Technically, they keep their promise because we both weren't on the block together. And at the same time, whoever is sitting next to Sam, we might just be able to get them to go out instead of her. So in the back of Faisal's mind, he was playing the game and he was thinking like, man, the deal we made was really working. But of course, Haley was very skeptical for good reason. She was very skeptical. And see, I'm getting a lot of reads out of Haley that let me know she's a real good player who just doesn't have good teammates, Bailey included. Okay, but I think Bailey with some separation away from Tyler's miss for a couple of weeks could be exactly what the doctor ordered, because Haley needs someone more militant than her, someone that can be the bad cop, but also someone that can play the game socially. Scotty's problem was socially, he lacked what Bailey and Faisal have. Scotty's strength was he had a strategic acumen that Bailey and Faisal didn't have. Okay, but I'd argue this game, more so than most games in the past, is more about the social aspect because of how rigged it is in competitions. Okay, you pretty much have to blitzkrieg someone to win a comp over Tyler. You got to blitzkrieg him. And honestly, who has Tyler really beat? No one. Not really. I mean, every single person who could have beat Tyler is out the damn game, including Faisal on Thursday. Okay, anybody could have beat him head to head in a physical comp. Okay. And Tyler is already stressed. He wants his final four to be JC, Angela, and Casey, or Sam, Angela, and Casey. He wants some variation of those four. JC wants Brett out. JC wants Haley to say so Haley could target Brett. But you would think a guy like JC, who claims to be so cool with Faisal, who claims to have Faisal's back, who could beat Faisal at the end, you would think it behooves JC to keep Faisal over Haley. And see, the reason why I keep saying it's the best move to get rid of Haley for this other side is because common sense dictates Haley is the one who can win. And not just that, here's another reason why they need to get rid of Haley over Faisal. If you send Haley out the door, Haley is the one who can have an alliance with every single returning member in the game. Rockstar, check. Faisal, check. Bailey, check. Scotty, check. That's reasoning alone for her to get out. See, if you get rid of Haley, now the only people who can return and work with Faisal are Bailey and Rockstar. And Rockstar and Faisal ain't really an intimidating group. So that means only Bailey coming back as a threat if you get rid of Haley. And even then, Bailey has to fight Haley to get back. Okay? Which could, well, I'm not going to say it's going to ruin a vote for either one, but at the end of the day, it could create some drama there. All right? So if you leave Faisal in the game, now he's already talking like he doesn't even want to play anymore. I mean, the guy's talking like, man, I wish I could skip the fucking jury house and just go home. Boy, fuck this game. And honestly, I didn't appreciate it because I don't like to see a quitter in any brother, let alone a person of color. You know what I'm saying? That's the last thing I want to see. So I will hold him accountable for that because I think that's beta male behavior on his part as well. I mean, you signed up for this game, all right? When it was time to put Scotty on the damn block, shit was sweet. Now that you on the fucking block, you know, hey, you got to have that same energy. I don't want to see you laying in bed, acting shook. You know, the same shit you was laughing at Scotty for, you doing the same shit. So yeah, I'm going to hold you accountable too. But at the same time, though, this is why you keep him in the game. If this level 6 alliance is so good, why would they keep Faisal? And why is JC okay with getting rid of Faisal? Doesn't he know he loses a vote by lying to him like this? I just don't get it, man. And I tell you why. JC is playing Tyler's game. Angela is playing Tyler's game. But the funny thing is, them keeping Haley is ironically enough not playing Tyler's game. It's really weird. It's like their intention is to keep playing Tyler's game, but they are doing things that could backfire on Tyler anyway. And I just don't get it. See, I get it from Brett's perspective why he wants Haley to stay over Faisal. That makes sense. I even get it somewhat for Casey, maybe, to want Faisal to stay over Haley. Well, I can no. Yeah, Casey should want Faisal to stay over Haley. Haley nominated Casey. Yeah, so really the only person in that alliance should really want Haley to stay over Faisal should be Brett. But for whatever reason, it's a landslide for Faisal to go. And Faisal has been nothing but nice to all these people. He hasn't double-crossed any of them. They make a fun of him anyway. Okay, but then let you be someone like Bailey, who's actually trying to play the game, who is actually lying, who is actually doing the things the other side is currently doing, and yet you get villainized as if they're not doing the same thing. Okay, the reason why I mention this is because you can do no right when you're a black player in this game. Okay, you can do no right. But let's get into notes, ladies and gentlemen, because I will provide more context to back up a lot of my theories here. But I will say it was very funny to see Haley walk up on all of them celebrating right after the HOH comp. That was one of the funniest things I've seen on television in a while. And you know, you got Brett, I'm the free agent looking ass, but you jumping up and down like you just won the fucking Super Bowl. It's like, yeah, bruh, you're such a free agent, you know? And I just think that looked bad on Brett's end. I mean, it's like, Brett, you should be smart enough not to be jumping up and down. Like, wait till y'all get to the HOH room, then do it. But see, this proves my point. They're cocky at this point. They know at this point they're pretty much guaranteed. That's why, and see, that's my problem. Tyler keeps bringing up his app to give us an update on how much longer it lasts. And I think they did that on purpose. And see, people came at me all sideways because, hey, can you blame me? Because when I first heard Tyler talk about his app, I thought he said his shit lasted until 7 people left. Okay, I didn't hear him say 8 weeks. I thought he said till 7 people left. And I thought Bailey was till 8 people left. So I always thought, oh, ain't that convenient? They gave Tyler an app that lasts a week longer than hers, but he got his a week before hers. So I always thought that was the thing. So I'm thinking a resetted week, if his lasts till final 7, then that means he gets an extra week now to have his app. Of course, people corrected me, the Tyler Dick Riders. I mean, they will jump in front of a spear for this guy. It's hilarious. So people's like, oh, victim tears, I love it. So then I flipped it on him like a savage. I said, bro, you gonna really love them victim tears when Paul gets his ass shitted on 3 years in a row. That motherfucker ain't had no comeback, coach. It was over with. Like, ooh, Don DeMarco. You feel me? I had it lit in this bitch, coach. But anyway, yeah, so yeah, man, I took a whole bunch of notes about the show, man. But let's get into these notes, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into Thursday. Let's get it popping. I gave y'all the opening. I know y'all love. You feel what they mean? And trust me, these notes, baby, y'all know how I hit it, man. Hard hitting. But at the end of the day, to be honest with y'all, this week is very boring. I was able to breeze through these feeds pretty fast because there's not much valuable game talk happening this week. Mainly because, number one, this week could be rendered useless with the reset. Faisal could just walk right back in this bitch, and then we're back at the same stage. The difference is Faisal can now compete for HOH. And that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping with this reset, they don't come up with some bullshit excuse for why Angela is allowed to compete again and Faisal. No. Angela shouldn't be allowed to do a damn thing, and Faisal should be competing. Because if they let Angela compete again, they might come up with a lie and say Faisal can't compete again for HOH because technically he was HOH last because it was a reset. I don't want to deal with none of that bullshit, okay? If Faisal comes back and he's allowed to compete, that's one good thing. But at the end of the day, I still believe Bailey's the best option, and I will explain why with these notes. So let's get it popping. 9:55 p.m. Thursday night, ladies and gentlemen. After HOH is over and fees return, we see Angela as the new HOH. Peep game on the power trip Casey on the power trip Casey has, yelling across the house to ask Haley why she's working out after an HOH comp. Now, we all saw the HOH comp. It wasn't nothing physical. So now that we've actually saw it, they're just grabbing balls, taking tokens out and rolling shit. I mean, like, first off, why are you even asking her if she's working out? Why are you asking her why she's working out? It's none of your fucking concern why she's working out. But see, questions like this come from people who feel like they're empowered, people who feel like they can do no wrong, people who are part of production. Coach's kids, if you will. And I'm really going to break down that coach's kid thing, but I got to keep laying down the red herring, okay? Because when I break that shit down, ooh, it's going to hit. But anyway, yeah, so she had this power trip. She yells across the house to Haley, why are you working out? The HOH just happened. Like, I'm sorry, Casey, everyone isn't built like a lesbian like you that can bench press 180, okay? Everyone isn't built like that. She's trying to stay in shape, okay? Anyway, this will just be a red herring of how the rest of the week is about to go. One side will grow more confident as the other loses all the hope that was left. Also, pay attention to how Tyler was laying next to Angela at first in the blue room after she won HOH. This pregame alliance could also be the best kept pregame showman secret in reality TV history, until I found out about it with my ongoing investigation Recency Bias Radio exclusive. Ding! As this is happening, Casey is trying to tell Tyler and Angela to breathe it all in because they haven't had time yet because of the hacker twist. I think she's full of crap here. They've never been in a losing position because every person from the other side that has won HOH thought someone else was a bigger target than Tyler, including Scotty. Including Scotty. This, along with the Lifeguard Jesus Cloud app, worked like a Tyler Perry idol, ironically enough, within the constructs of the Big Brother game. And it led them down a path of immortality strategically. And I must drive this point home, ladies and gentlemen, because when you have a power that can keep you from going up on the block in 2 different ways, you have the Tyler Perry app. All you need at this point is a little bit of production tipping you off on when to use it, and you can't be taken out. The same way someone in Survivor that can wait for the votes to be read before playing their idol virtually never has to use it. It's the same exact thing, okay? They gave Tyler his own Lifeguard Jesus idol. Let's just call it what it is, all right? Lifeguard Perry, whatever the fuck you want to call it. The conversation gets very awkward when Faisal walks in. The conversation jumps to multiple places before an interesting conversation comes up with Haley saying she could never cry on purpose. Remember, guys, when I mentioned Haley smiling before she cried in the bathroom and it didn't make the edit? Remember I mentioned that to y'all? I think I may have figured out Haley's game a bit. You know, they say you speak things into existence to deny them when you're paranoid that other people could suspect them. Kind of like if you smelt it, dealt it kind of thing with farts. I think Haley could be aware of the fact that someone may have seen her smile before she cried. So now she's kind of trying to show some gamesmanship. I don't know. But I doubt they would put something like that in the edit of her saying, I fake cry all the time. You know, that's something, that's the type of montage they put together for a player they like, you know, to showcase, wow, look at all this stuff they've done over this course of the game. You know, like that mini clip shit. They do that for all of their faves. They don't do that for anyone on the other side. But yeah, I think I may have exposed that being a legit tactic in her game, and she knows she must be able to master it to make the end. She even did a tactic that I thought was very interesting. Now, some people might think, Dave, this is a little bit TMI. Some might think, all right, Dave, this wasn't a strategy at all. This was just girls being girls. But I noticed that right after, I want to say it was right after the veto competition, and I'm going to mention this a little bit later, but I noticed that Haley was having, it was her time in a month, essentially. And she was telling people she was going to clean the bathroom. She ends up being in the stall. And she eventually like asked Angela to come here. And Angela comes, she basically whispers to her what's going on. Angela, she tries to go and get her like some type of a cloth, something to soak it up, the whole nine. And it's just funny, though, because Sam is thinking the worst of Haley. Is Haley really cleaning that bathroom, or was she lying? And then that's when Angela says something to the effect of, no. She was really cleaning the bathroom, but right now she's having her period, blah, 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 blah. So I'm trying to get her something to clean that up. So Sam basically offered for her to use something or whatever. Anyway, the reason why I mention this is because Haley, right after the veto competition, where it probably could have felt for her that she was doomed because she's the one who used the hacker on Tyler. She's the one who threw up Casey and Angela during her HOH week. So it would only make sense for Haley to feel like she won't outlast Faisal in this moment. So I thought for her to have the wherewithal to ask Angela for assistance in her time of need, I thought that was smart. Because when Angela brought her something, after that, she was also able to ask her, hey, could I please use your HOH shower? She says, go ahead. Now, up until that point, Angela admitted that after the veto competition, after they have it set in stone that Faisal won't win, she had no plans of allowing either one of them back in her HOH room because she's a fucking coward. So I thought it was very smart. Whether, I mean, even during a period, to have the wherewithal to still find a way to create a social bridge in this game during that. And I've been told from several women that it is a painful experience, an embarrassing experience for a girl that young to be able to have the wherewithal to even attempt something like that on her period. I think that gave me even more hope that she can be the one. She can be the breaker of chains. Haley of Troy. You see what I'm saying? I think based off of her smiling before that, crying, based off her playing off this period in some way, because by the time she got up there, took her shower, changed clothes, all of a sudden she's up there talking with Angela and KC, and it's almost like the time she was crying at them in the jail room, because now they're both consoling her and telling her, don't worry about this week. We have your back. He will be going home, you know? So, you know, I think she flipped a period into being safe somehow. Now, granted, she was going to be safe anyway based off of the feeds, which I will document, but she wouldn't have known or been privy to this information without that period as fast. So I think that's something to give her credit for. All right. You know, I think that's a little bit of woman magic right there, the way she flipped that into a positive thing. So I thought that was just something worth mentioning. Maybe no one else mentions it. Maybe they do. But you know me, I try to think outside the box. Anyway, also pay attention to how Tyler. Oh, shit, I already said that. Oops. I didn't realize I scrolled up and down. All right, now. Okay, yeah, here it is. I'm going to make sure I'm not off. I'm not off the script this time. You feel me, coach? I can't do y'all like that. Anyway, if Bailey comes back in the battle back, I think her and Haley could be Brittany and Sarah for the other side. And the reason why I'm saying this is Brittany and Sarah was in Big Brother Canada 3, ladies and gentlemen. They were part of the season where Godfrey was robbed. Okay, Godfrey Manguiza. We spoke on him with Andrew Miller in the last one. But no disrespect to Brittany or Sarah's game. But at the end of the day, anyone with a brain saw that Godfrey played a more difficult game. While Brittany and Sarah was pretty much given a whole bunch of apps. Well, not apps. Damn. See, I'm in the mindset of saying apps now. Because they were given a whole bunch of welfare twists, you know, because they were given a whole bunch of twists to help them get back from the bottom of the game, they were able to come back, and one of them ended up winning the game. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because I think Bailey, her purpose, if she does come back, would be solely to get Haley to the end. And I think the only way Haley gets to the end is if her and Bailey can somehow make Final Four together. I don't know. I just don't see anyone taking Haley with them to Final 3 unless Haley wins the Final Four veto. And that's why Bailey is so necessary to me. I think Bailey can clutch out a veto in the Final Four to keep Haley around, to get rid of someone important. That way both of them can maybe be at the end with a Sam. Maybe be at the end with, and I think Sam is the perfect person to be at the end for both of them. Yeah, I think she's perfect. I think both of them beat Sam, and they both just say, all right, me and you versus each other. Winner takes Sam. GG. I think they would still find a way to rob a black woman. Or even against someone like Sam that hasn't even played the game. I think they would figure out a way to rob Bailey in that moment. I think they would say, you've been eliminated, you came back, you've had a second chance, and you've had a power app, which Angela already tried to frame the narrative that gave her a second chance at this game. So knowing Angela, she'll definitely be that bitter jury saying, Bailey had 3 chances at this game. Shut your dumb ass up. If you black in this game, you got half a fucking chance off the dribble. So at best, Bailey had 1.5 chances. Let's call a spade a spade. All right? But anyway, I can turn up in a second on my way. Y'all better be careful. All right, anyway. But yeah, so I think this could be a Brittany and Sarah type thing. All right? One of Sarah's major tactics was using emotion to flip the momentum of the game. She even convinced a straight woman to become a lesbian. These are the facts, coach. Do your research. All right. I'm not lying. I'd argue Sarah was much more of an outcast than Haley of Troy was this season. But Haley is playing against by far harder competition. And that is facts. There's no one who would decline this admission. Bailey doesn't just play the Brittany role because of obvious reasons. They both were queens and they both were of chocolate descent. But it's deeper than just that for me, because they both are necessary shields. And they both work perfectly with the person who is the only person on the other side that can possibly pull off the upset. She plays this role because Bailey can play this role because I fear she has no chance of winning because she had to be in the battle bag. Brittany, at the end of the day, no one was willing to take her to the end because they thought they couldn't beat her. So she really didn't have a chance of winning. I mean, she had the chance of winning if she would have been there, but I just consider it kind of similar because I don't think neither one of them will make the actual final two. The $500,000 question here is, How does Bailey and Haley make the end versus the other pairings with Haley? I think any other grouping is either too weak, Rockstar and Haley, or too much of an initial threat, Scotty and Haley, Faisal and or Scotty and Haley, or Faisal and Haley is too much of an initial threat because we see what's happening to them now. The thing is, I personally think Scotty isn't mentally strong enough to not let Tyler reel him back in, especially after that apology on Thursday night's episode. What was the point of that apology, by the way? I can't see it making any sense unless he expected to be back in the game. But I think they can use that apology against him if he were to target them later in the game. Who's to say Scotty will stand firm if Tyler wins veto on a Scotty HOH? At least Faisal can come back and has a legit game reason to target Angela. And hopefully by proxy, Tyler. A game reason is half the battle. So with this context, Faisal, in my opinion, is a better game option to return, win HOH, and reacclimate than Scotty is socially, making him the second best option behind Bailey. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Bailey could be easily casered in this situation if she isn't careful. But I think the mist may have evaporated the most through her lenses by being separated from the house for so long. I also think Bailey is the necessary person to get Haley's mind back on strategy and less on wanting the game to be over. Bailey's coming back would make Haley feel better and free Haley of the guilt the hacker gave her by Bailey going out. Because let's be real, has Haley's game really been as centered ever since she had that meeting? I don't think it's been as centered. I don't. I think she's been a little off kilter here and there. I'll give her credit for this move, that move, but let's be real. She hasn't been her happy-go-lucky self most of the time. She tries to put on little fronts here and there in spurts like she did when Scotty first got thrown up and she was all of a sudden best friends with level 6. But she finds it very hard to do this for long periods of time. You can just feel it on her. You know, she's getting tired of the fake shit herself. But anyway, and I think that's why she needs Bailey. She needs a girl back. And let's be real, she's never played this game with Bailey and not Rockstar. Rockstar usually the one who blows up their spot whenever they're discussing something interesting, and they don't want Rockstar there because they don't know if she's working with Brett. That leads to them changing the subject real fast, almost like Rockstar's on the other side. You feel me? Now with no distraction of Rockstar, no distraction of Faisal, Haley has Bailey's undivided attention, vice versa. I think Bailey comes back into this game with a brand new mindset, ready to fuck shit up. And honestly, I hope she can still use her power. Now, I know most likely it won't happen. I know they will probably strip her of it if she comes back. They don't even want her to come back to even have to address it. Okay, let's just call a spade there. But at the end of the day, that's why I'm tuning in on Thursday, to root for Bailey. I ain't rooting for no one else, coach. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I think Scotty is the next boot for everyone if he returns, minus Sam and possibly Haley. If Faisal returns, they might think he's so dumb, there's no way he has the votes and could be the biggest comp threat GOAT of all time. This is a long shot theory, but I thought it out. Well, oh shit, my fault. But I thought it was one to ponder upon as the rant continues, because I still believe JC, Sam, and Haley would be smart to make the final 7 with Faisal if he returns. So you see what I'm saying? Like, with the resetted final 8, we need, it is pertinent. If no one between Haley and whoever returns wins the next HOH, then this resetted week is a waste of time. We might as well go ahead and fast forward another week. You see what I'm saying? And honestly, do y'all really need another rant from me if it's deja vu next week? I feel like y'all will only want this fire if someone between Haley and question mark person to be named later wins. Otherwise, do we really give a fuck? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. But anyway, I digress. But like I said, this is a long shot theory, but I thought it was one to ponder upon as the rant continues, because I still believe JC, Sam, and Haley would be smart to make the final 7 with Faisal if he returns. It would be each of their chances. It will up each of their chances of winning exponentially. Those 4 versus some variation of 3 of the level 6 is the outcome we need. Why? Well, Bailey and Scotty both won't work with JC, especially Rockstar. JC and Sam, or Brett and Sam, are the only 2 that will even listen to a pitch that can change the game and consider it. Sam mainly because she doesn't understand things and needs Brett's explanation. Brett mainly because his only route to the end is probably with Haley and Sam, plus a number that isn't Angela, Casey, or Tyler. Without that, Brett doesn't make it past Final 4 and is the Caleb of the season. Caleb Reynolds. Brett needs Scotty to return over Faisal and Bailey, but I think he could also see the value in Bailey being the weapon to go after Tyler for Brett to have that Steve or Ian path to the end. Either way, Brett needs a comp beast to return that's motivated towards targeting level 4, but not him. He's smart and sound enough to realize this before Tyler would like him to. So I expect him to make his move the week after the resetted Final 8 week. So I say, ladies and gentlemen, 2 weeks from this Thursday coming up, 2 weeks from 2 days. So basically 16 days from now, that is when I think Brett is going to finally start getting his gears turning on Tyler. I think, because like I keep telling y'all, even number weeks are usually the weeks to flip in Big Brother because there's always 3 people that can't vote. Because that makes the vote now odd numbered, meaning someone can flip now. Whereas when it's odd number people left in the game in Survivor, that's when you want to flip. Even number in Big Brother, odd number in Survivor. I try to drill this point home all the time. But that's why I truly think Brett's best move is to flip on the resetted Final 8 week, because that's an even number, 5 votes. And honestly, if one of Bailey or Haley happened to win HOH, all they need to do is nominate 2 level 6 people outright, and there is no way one level 6 person doesn't go home. There's no way. That is the mistake they have made since the beginning of jury. They have not just nominated 2 outright level 6. Well, actually, they did. I guess Bailey did nominate 2 outright level 6 members too. Let's give Bailey some credit here. She just didn't nominate the right ones. That was her problem. Scotty, he did more of a better job, and that's why I called it a master class. But even he did nominate Tyler. So there's room for improvement everywhere here. Like, no one is safe from criticism, and that's why it's the slogan, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, so I truly believe Brett is smart enough to realize what needs to be done on the resetted Final 8 week. That will be his last chance to bring down the Lifeguard Empire, in my opinion, because JC is already trying to figure out how to get Brett out before the Final 5. So. But JC's walking up to Brett acting like he wants to make a deal with him so both of them make the Final 5 with Tyler. It's a lot of shit. And that's why I honestly believe JC and Brett are going to clash. They're going to clash soon, because I think both of them will be much more willing to go after each other than Tyler. And the problem is, you going after each other does nothing but help Tyler. You know, y'all both need to realize if y'all come together to take out Tyler, now y'all both have a chance to legit go to Final 2, and y'all both could just duke it out right then and there. You know, renegades it out. But it's too many cowards in this alliance, and I fear Brett is probably the only straight up one in the group. I don't get much coward vibes from Brett. Brett will hang out with a guy right after throwing him under the damn bus. Hell, he did it with Scotty. He didn't run from Scotty all fucking day, but that's what Angela would have did. See, that shows me something. When you got that energy for me, but you ain't avoiding me. Like, that lets me know, all right, this is not a fear thing. This is legit just gameplay from you. I can respect that. But that's why I don't respect Tyler and Angela, because it's a fear thing with them. All right, anyway, everyone keeps drinking for about a half an hour or so before the HOH room becomes open to Angela. At 12:31 a.m., Faisal is trying to convince Angela to not put up Haley, but if she has to, only put her up as a pawn so he'll take her off. By the way, this is Friday. I don't know if I mentioned that. He has no idea he's about to be thrown up with her. Faisal is trying to get Angela to throw up Sam because they have the votes to send her home, worst case scenario. Angela lies about not having a plan B. But didn't she tell us through confessional and lie to all of the casual audience saying she had a plan B? Why is Angela lying to both Faisal and the casual audience that support her because she's with Tyler? See, I don't get this shit. And why is production... All right, man, let me just keep going. Faisal thinks Sam leaving will make the house happy. He doesn't want her to be a target, but she should have already been one if he was playing smart. At this time, Faisal was pushing JC and Sam going up. Kind of shocked me because I didn't think he would want JC to go up. But, you know, JC the type of motherfucker to push for Faisal to go up. So, honestly, an eye for an eye, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, this is bad because it gives JC an excuse to turn on him, but that won't keep him from some smoke once Faisal watches the season. It's coming for you. Anyway. Their pitch wasn't that bad to Angela, but as you can see, this is one of the fastest strategic Thursday nights because the noms are so obvious. JC ends up interrupting to get Faisal to organize their shoes in the closet. Then it hits me. Wouldn't it be smarter for Tyler and his side to get out Haley over Faisal, because Haley of Troy probably won't beat Scotty or Bailey in the battle back, and she knows the game more than Faisal? This is when this idea started cooking in my mind, and this is when I really started to realize that this could be production pushing for Faisal to leave first, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't the smarter move to limit Haley going any further with someone by getting her out, because she is the only threat left to win from the Hive? Now, I know Lifeguard Jesus is allergic to alpha males and wants them all gone. But if he is this sound game player, or this transcendent game player, like some of y'all may imply, he should be pushing for Haley to go out before Faisal. Maybe he is threatened enough by JC to not allow Haley to go first. I don't know. But the move here is obvious. Get out Haley, because Scotty won't work with Faisal. Bailey and Faisal might be a huge problem that none of them want to see. Though, seeing as they are all cowards. So maybe that also is why they might. So maybe this is also why they would evict Faisal over Haley. So many scenarios. Angela comes out the DR ready to show off her room. They go in and the standard ass kissing begins to commence. Most notable thing about this was how quiet Faisal and Haley were compared to how much the rest of the house talked amongst themselves in a group in the same room. You don't have to be playing Big Brother to notice what's going on here, ladies and gentlemen. They've been played, whether Faisal knows this or not yet, and he does not. This is actually pretty sad because it's an unnecessary blindside. They made that deal and Angela went out of her way to win HOH just to break it. That's terrible jury management. But peep game on how sure a picture of Angela had to have been from this summer, from Tyler's perspective. He literally walks up to one of Angela's pictures and says, "This has to be from this summer, isn't it?" Like, what the fuck is this? See, little shit like that let me know he know her, coach. Like, don't give me that, "Oh, she look exactly the same in this pic, bro. She got the same tan." Bro, you've been in this house 60 days, bro. Like, come on, dog. Like what? Like, that could have been her from any time. But see, that lets in the suspicion that Tyler was wherever she was when she took that picture. He was there with her and remembers the memory. See, usually when people look at pictures like that and they know exactly when you took it, usually they were there for it. But that's neither here nor there. Another subtle hint that he knew her before the game. A week ago, even admitting to seeing her before somewhere, and his fans tried to chalk it off as a lighthearted joke. But when you have a player that has had lots of advantages, all jokes are soaked in the brutal truth. Tyler was cuffing hard when Angela won that damn HOH. Hard, y'all. He was cuffing, coach. The man looked sprung. So hard, I thought it would be impossible for him to act oblivious to not knowing what the noms would be. Haley also points out how JC never stays in the HOH room that long, but he is now for Angela's HOH. Hopefully she notices this and realizes he was undoubtedly the flipped vote at this point. And see, I honestly wanted Haley to tell Faisal that JC is in on this bullshit. You know, and even later in the week, you know, Faisal is talking to JC and he basically says, "Man, I wish I would have won veto, but if I would have won veto, Haley probably would have went home and she probably would have been sitting next to you and they're not going to send you home over her, blah, blah, blah." And JC said, "Well, if you would have won veto, we would have just figured it out and made a deal." If I'm Faisal in that moment, the first thing that come out of my mouth is, "Motherfucker, why couldn't we make a deal before I got on this damn block? Why couldn't we make a deal before this veto competition? Why couldn't we make a deal at all with you, JC? But last week you was drinking up all my fucking wine, acting like shit was sweet." You see what I'm saying? Questions like this need to be asked. Nobody brings those real questions to JC. It's like everyone is so scared of how America will view them for treating a short person bad, but then they'll treat black people bad and be like, "Oh, America will understand. We're from a racist country." That's the bullshit I be noticing, bro. You feel me? People are real hesitant when it come to other people. When it come to us, they just do it on some Nike shit. You know what I mean? 1:52 a.m. camera 4. JC, Brett, and Casey all think Faisal and Haley made some type of Final Four deal with Tyler and Angela. Oh, shit, some app just popped up. All right, anyway, my fault, y'all. JC, Brett, and Casey all think Faisal and Haley made some type of Final Four deal with Tyler and Angela because they thought there was a double eviction coming up. And it turns out this is true. Faisal, he did think there could have possibly been a double eviction this past Thursday. And that's what made him so hasteful with him wanting to make this deal. And it's funny because I've never seen someone be knocked because they made a deal with someone. just because, oh, you only made this deal with me because you thought it would be a double. He still made the fucking deal. He could have put you up. You see what I'm saying? But this just goes to show you, man, Tyler and Angela do not honor deals, bruh. They do not honor deals. So why should anyone honor y'all with winning the game unless y'all both sitting next to each other? If anyone else is sitting at the end next to Tyler and Angela, I could see someone else beating. I could see Sam winning somehow. If the jury's bitter enough, I could see it. You see the way she was, if I give you a token, will you promise me you won't nominate me? You see what I'm saying? That's the pinky promise. That's the token promise. I need a token of appreciation. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what's going on, coach? You feel me? But see, this is her way to never rub anybody the wrong way. And she'll be there at the end of the game. And you'll have so many people from level 6 that have done folks wrong that the one person that didn't do anyone wrong, oh, that motherfucker graduated from GOAT status to all of a sudden the person you don't want to be having a speech standing next to status. That's a little scary. So if I'm Tyler, you playing with a little bit of fool's gold, thinking that you could take Sanity in. And see, that's why he's not really speaking on Sam going to the end with him. It seems like he's a little spooked out by her being at the end with him too. You know what I'm saying? But Tyler, if you go to the end with Angela and you choose her over Sam, you're in trouble anyway, my brother. So I'm just gonna put it that way. But yeah, so like I was saying, they thought it was a double eviction coming up, and that's why the majority of level 6 assumes that deal was made. JC does all he can around level 6, gloat about how well he's playing Faisal. But at some point, JC needs to use these powers of manipulation and persuasion to get Faisal to target a threat that he can't. JC wasted last week. JC could have convinced Faisal to do a move JC can't do. Then he could have chalked it off to his other side as, I can't control him. He's a lone wolf. By doing that, he doesn't take any of the blame. One person he wanted out, like Brett, could have been out the fucking house. But see, for whatever reason, JC was so worried about Scotty. And I think the legitimate reason why he was so worried about Scotty is because Scotty was getting close to Tyler. I think if Scotty wasn't getting close to Tyler at all, I think JC would see the benefit in getting rid of Brett before Scotty. I definitely feel that way. But because Scotty is so malleable, because he wants to be accepted so much by Tyler, and because JC sees it, of course JC is going to create this illusion that Scotty is trying to sleep in the same bed with Haley. It was a masterclass on his part because he got multiple jobs done with that one lie. Multiple jobs. And I think he has Tyler believing he can trust JC more than Brett. And that's really all JC wants, especially if Faisal is leaving and Haley's going to be left. Okay, because he's going to definitely want to plant that seed also in Tyler's mind that, hey, Brett could be working with Haley now that she's a lone wolf. We need to watch him. You know, we need to maybe get him out next. You know what I'm saying? He's more of a threat than she is. That type of shit, you know. But the more and more he does all of this shit just to keep himself on people's radar, the less and less his game is going to be respected because he's going to be standing next to the guy who he took orders from. And that's what's popping. But anyway, a lot of freestyling in this rant. I'm loving it. You know, I'm trying to make this week more interesting than it really is. You feel it, dig me? Especially for the people that ain't watching the show at all. Y'all gonna get y'all money's worth tonight. Y'all ain't gonna have to spend shit. Anyway, how can he ever pull this off in the future if he keeps laughing at Faisal's demise? I think production has JC so gassed up from playing a recruit this way, he isn't even focused on playing anyone else. He's bragging about his game more and more to level 6. But once Faisal leaves, if I'm JC, I'd start to ask myself, what purpose do I now serve to level 6? See, it's like, bro, what are you doing? The one person that makes you valuable to this group, you're about to send out the fucking door. And after you send him out the door, it's very plausible you could follow him up out that damn door. It's possible, coach. It's definitely possible. You'd never know. It could be a scenario where, let's say Bailey wins the next HOH. Let's say she nominates Angela and Tyler. Tyler doesn't have his power no more. All right. Let's say someone like Casey, maybe Brett, win veto, take one person off. The only person that can be replaced is either Casey or Brett. What's stopping Bailey from saying, you know what, fuck this. JC's never touched a block. Backdoor his ass, and then all at level 6 vote your dumb ass out, JC. Because it's either them 4 or you at this point, and you're sitting next to one of them, you got to go. I would love to see Bailey get revenge on JC that way. And I'm sure all of you are commenting right now, like, ooh, you are convincing me why Bailey needs to come back. Because let's be real, if Faisal comes back, JC isn't on the radar. If Scotty comes back, I'm worried level 6 ain't really on his radar. I'm worried he's more focused on speaking with Haley about his feelings, or I'm really good at that impersonation. Or I'm worried that by some stretch of by some change of the gameplay, Haley gets sent home, and then Scotty's back with Faisal, and then you got two guys who hate each other that are forced to work together, making it even more easy for Tyler to slide to the end. I'm worried about all of that, but 100%, I would love to see Bailey be the one to indirectly get JC out by a back door that wasn't even meant to be a back door. I would love to see that, because it would just be such a wake-up call for JC to see how low he is really on this totem pole. For Bailey to nominate a guy and a girl, have someone win veto, take off a guy or a girl, and then for JC to replace them. And you know JC, he's the type of motherfucker to go up to Bailey, put up some. Bailey gonna be like, ain't that your best friend? Isn't that the woman that you spoke up during her own veto ceremony, interrupted her speech and said, don't do it to me? Wasn't that you? Now you want her thrown up? See, Bailey could run right back up to Sam, tell her that information. Now Sam is loyal to Bailey for the rest of the game. That could be the one thing that makes her stop fucking with JC and makes her give Haley another chance. You never know. But see, maybe I'm being too optimistic about Bailey's own social gameplay, her own strategic acumen. But I truly believe when you have time in the game and you come back and you've had time to really when you have time to unwind, think of everything you did wrong. And now, because her coming back in the house, she knows she's playing with house money. See, everyone else has never experienced what it's like to go home yet. So she can go in there and she can go, hey, I've been eliminated once. I could be eliminated again. It's not a big deal to me. Everyone else, it's their first time. And you don't want to be the guy or the woman who is sent home because someone came back and sent you home. Oh, man, that'll have you living with a what if and thought process for the rest of your life, because you'll be thinking, I could have won that game if that twist didn't exist. And I think it would be very ironic for someone on Tyler's side to talk about a twist screwing them, when I'd argue this pregame alliance is a twist no one knows about. But that's neither here nor there. All right, anyway. But yeah, so really, JC, you need to ask yourself, what purpose do you serve to level 6 if Faisal leaves? What purpose do you serve? You don't serve a damn purpose. If Faisal is gone and Haley stays, then Faisal doesn't return into battle back. JC's game is 100% compromised. No Faisal in the game means JC is no longer an asset to Tyler's game. And just like he did Caitlyn, I expect Tyler to turn on JC very soon. Okay, let me get some water real quick, ladies and gentlemen. I'm starting to hiccup and whatnot. I'm sure y'all wouldn't mind, you know what I'm saying? I try my best to keep all the product placement off the screen. You feel me? Hey, y'all got to pay me for this type of product placement. You feel me? Anyway, 11:52 a.m. Camera 1. Angela is lying to Faisal, implying she is throwing up Haley with a pawn. She won't say who the pawn is because of the rules, but this rule is convenient for only Tyler's allies to lie in subtle ways. My problem with Faisal here is he should have been fighting for Haley to stay off the block because he made a deal with Angela that they would both be safe. Why are you even entertaining this nonsense if there's a deal? First thing I'm asking her is, does the deal exist or not? Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Oh, man, but from a gameplay perspective, you can't give someone a reason to turn on you. You got to make them look like the dick who turned on you first. I get that. But if you care more about your lady than you do about the fucking game, I need you to speak up harder when it comes to defending your lady's honor. At least say, put me up instead of her next to Sam. If you don't care, what the fuck? And see, that's where someone like Faisal starts to lose me. Because if I'm to buy into this recruit perspective you have of not caring about the game, then I should also see your actions back that up at every turn, even if it's a strategic conversation. Because Faisal claims to care more about real life shit, oh man, this is just a game, man. I ain't got to fuck with none of these people outside of this game. That is very true, Faisal, and I'm pretty sure you and Swaggy can do mighty fine on your own without these folks. In fact, I think y'all should throw your own fucking party away from these folks and get it really popping. But that's neither here nor there post-game. But at the end of the day, I just thought it was very beta male of you in this conversation to allow dictator IKEA over here to dictate the terms and conditions. I didn't appreciate this, okay? And it's so funny, like, it's so easy to say, oh, he only made this deal with us for this Final Four because he wanted to keep himself safe next week. No, duh. That's the only reason why anyone makes a fucking deal when they're HOH. Okay. But if he wasn't HOH and he made this deal when he wasn't, what would y'all say? Oh, now you want to make a deal, but when you had power, you didn't want it. So no matter what, this was going to be put in the edit regardless, ladies and gentlemen. That's the whole reason for me saying that. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't, okay? But see, this is why recruits drive me nuts. They don't even know how to pitch a deal. Angela saying she must nominate Haley because she threw Angela up is a good excuse. But why does it seem like Angela doesn't give Haley the same hacker excuse she likes to give herself during her HOH? Remember, she kept saying, it's not fair. I just want to have some power during my HOH week. Haley wins HOH the week right after it, right? Was she given that excuse that she wasn't able to be her own HOH during her only HOH week? No. Everyone counted that as real blood on her hands. So when she nominated Angela, she remembered that. And that got her on the block. When she nominated Casey, she remembered that. She wasn't even on my radar until she did. Who else was she supposed to fucking nominate? Oh, you wanted her to nominate Scotty too, so y'all could clown her for that too? See, no matter how you shake it, she didn't have any other options. Oh, just put up Sam. Just put up Sam. Who the fuck wants to waste an HOH on Sam? Isn't that the same reason why y'all made sure Rockstar went home on with Casey's hacker? Because no one would truly target Rockstar in a week. So it's best for someone to anonymously get rid of her. You know, it's the same theory. But anyway, the hacker did more to ruin the Hive's game than anything else. Take away the hacker twist and Tyler probably never goes up. Oh, snap. Hold on. Oh, my fault. This is what I meant to say. Without that hacker, one of the level 6 goes home. The hacker did more to ruin the Hive's game than anything else. Take away the hacker twist and Tyler probably never goes up. But at least Casey or Angela would be gone. Now the Hive is decimated and the season is boring, which is probably why they announced the battle back in the first place, to keep us interested. Because don't be misled. Everyone doesn't like boring-ass level 4 like some of y'all. Everyone don't like these motherfuckers. And especially now that it's way too easy for them, no one likes it. And see, all those people that rooted against Bailey, I hope you feel great about yourself, because she was the only person that could have made this late stretch interesting. But she got screwed over, just like everyone else. She got screwed over. You feel me? But let's remind ourselves she screwed herself over before she was screwed over. All right, let's be fair. Angela claims her and Tyler will be targeted next week by the other side. If I'm in Faisal's shoes, first thing I'd ask is, what is the other side? Right? Like, that's the first thing I ask myself. There's only 8 people in the game. Faisal's move here was to pry and ask her if Brett, Casey, Sam, and JC are aligned. If she wants to imply this, the best way to bluff her out of it is to get her to double down on it or get her to rule it out. Faisal did neither. He did neither. But then she acts like, oh, I got to be real careful. Oh, I can't tell you who I'm nominating next to Haley because it could piss off other people. You know, she's just hedging, man. One minute you're this fearless person who has these speeches that are cringe. The next minute you're this person who stands up to whoever but runs the way and goes upstairs and locks the fucking door like you're a fucking 10-year-old that just discovered Pornhub. You know what I'm saying? You're weird to me. All right? You're weird. All right? The irony in Angela saying to Faisal she doesn't want to do anything unnecessary to someone who doesn't deserve it is laughable. She's the one production had to tell about jury management and her goodbye messages. She was so okay with Tyler beating her at the end that she had to be told what not to do to make the pregame alliance look less obvious. She's already done unnecessary stuff though. All the stuff she did to Bailey was cowardice and unnecessary. What she's doing to Faisal right now while discussing the unnecessary is even unnecessary. And I still don't get why she wanted to win this HOH and didn't throw it to someone else. It's like she doesn't want to win the game. That's what's frustrating to me. Even if I don't like you as a player, I want you to still play with the purpose of winning. She isn't doing that. Angela agrees to throw up Faisal, but nominate him second to blindside him at the ceremony. And that's exactly why, because see, they had this plan. They were lying to Faisal, making it seem like it was going to be Sam and Haley. The whole purpose of them putting Haley up top was to make Faisal feel a little comfortable, a little confident. And then when they nominate Faisal second, then he looked shook and shit. But Faisal didn't really take the bait like that. He kind of kept a straight face, if you ask me. But, you know, there's going to be certain people dick riding or acting like, oh, you really got him there and all that other shit, you know. You know, the only people who are allowed to look blindsided are the black people in this season. I mean, they zoom in extra hard on us when we look blindsided. You know, they won't allow a white player to be blindsided. Anyway, around noon-ish, unless you're Scotty, around noon-ish, Haley comes up and starts talking in the HOH with Faisal and Angela. But notice how once Haley tried to transition into discussing the game, Angela interrupted to discussing her laundry. What I don't get is, why does Angela act so tough and fearless, but never is this person before nominations? Also, how does she expect to throw up both of them without Tyler looking bad in all of this? I just thought it looked very messy, especially when you guys are trying to get extra close at nighttime as well. Like, I just don't get the messiness here, you know? And honestly, I hope this messiness is the undoing of both of you. I hope so. I hope someone in that alliance starts knowing that, oh, they're actually a couple now. You know, who knows? Maybe Casey had some type of a crush on Angela. I noticed when Angela be coming out that shower with that HOH robe on with nothing on under that thing, putting on lotion with her legs out, I noticed Casey be looking at her like she a Snicker bar. I be peeping game on little shit like that. So we've seen Casey get jealous because someone else took the girl she wanted before. It would be hilarious to see a jealous Casey go after Tyler. That shit would be so funny. But anyway, before any of them can really discuss anything of substance, Casey walks in, then Brett and Tyler. The three of them are essentially stalling and running interference until nominations. This goes on for an hour with no gameplay talk throughout the house as people move around. 1:25 p.m., camera 3. Casey and Angela make fun of Haley trying to get close to them. Casey admits her and Tyler came upstairs to the HOH room to save Angela from the two of them. Angela says she plans to say, "You're a day late and $1 short" in her speech, which we heard, which was corny as fuck. I mean, where are you from, Sam's County? But anyway, it also appears Haley is Angela's target over Faisal by how she's attempting to say and frame her speech around how Faisal is guilty by association. We'll eventually find out Faisal's the actual target, and they were actually running interference to keep Haley honest. But that's neither here nor there at this point, because we all know the truth. That says to me that she wants Haley going first, which would be Angela once again playing Tyler's game, because Angela should want Faisal going first if she actually has any hopes of winning. Feeds cut for the nomination ceremony as Tyler walks in on both women. Now, I thought this was the feeds cutting for a nomination ceremony. As I'm watching feeds, I found out this was actually a table change. This is why the table is much, much smaller than it used to be. They do this every season when it's the cast is shrunken halfway through. We see it all the time. Anyway, an hour later, feeds come back, not because of nouns, but because production changed the kitchen table. An hour after that, people dispersed to different rooms again. 3:29 p.m., camera 3. JC and Tyler are talking about late game stuff involving what would happen if Casey and Angela were in the Final Four with them. JC is worried about what the women would do if they won veto. Tyler is trying to diffuse this as unimportant, but JC clearly is trying to see where he fits into Tyler's late game. JC doesn't want Brett making Final Four, but it sounds like JC expects Faisal to leave because he wants Haley to target Brett herself. I don't get why JC would want Haley to target Brett over Faisal, though. This shows he has always been a fake friend towards Faisal, and if I'm being honest, Faisal got nothing from being nice to JC in this game. All he got was ridicule and women suggesting he's gay like Sam. I mean, even right after the new table came around, when the new table got installed or whatever in the kitchen, first thing come out of Sam's mouth when feeds come back is something to the effect of, "So when are you having your coming out party, Faisal?" And I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? And see, this is my problem. People can crack these type of jokes about a straight guy, and if we take it the wrong way, we homophobic. But if we go out of our way to crack a joke about a gay dude being straight, they take that shit personal, and they are allowed to. I don't get where the double standard is, coach. I don't get it. I think there's some heterophobia, if you ask me, but that's a word no one wants to say. That's a word no one wants to say, but there's more heterophobia out here than homo these days. Let's just call a spade a spade. All right? Like, for really, though, because Faisal treated this short gay dude with tons of respect, and he has got no respect back. In fact, the guy just runs like a fucking snitch to talk about all the how nice he's being treated by him. And it's like, so in other words, you deserve to be mistreated then, JC. If this is how you treat people that treat you well, I'd argue Faisal treats him much better than Tyler does. But I just think JC wants Tyler's cock in his mouth, and that's the difference. That's neither here nor there. All he got was ridicule and women suggesting he's gay like Sam. It's hard enough for a straight man to hang with a gay dwarf, but for this gay dwarf to be this disrespectful lets me know JC's true character. Because if roles were flipped and Faisal partook in some of the same confessional work, people would hate him for it. And I don't even know production would show it on TV. If it was some 6'5" guy clowning a 4'8" guy, I don't even think it makes TV. I don't think it's even funny. But because it's a short guy doing it, it's almost like he's a clown at the circus and everyone's laughing. But see, what JC doesn't realize is they're laughing at him, not with him. That's what he doesn't realize. They're laughing at him. You know, all this respect the troops, take care of your pets, LGBT. All this shit is just him gimmicking his way into another season, basically. He's trying to be Asian James. He's trying so hard. JC can be this life-size jester and no one cares. It's a clear double standard. JC had a masterclass last week, but isn't following it up correctly. He is allowing his only bartering chip in Faisal to be sent home just to get out Brett a week or two later. He is forfeiting his own win conditions to lower Brett's win conditions. It's almost as if JC thinks he can beat Tyler over Brett. It makes absolutely no sense. Tyler's been making lots of Final 2 deals, and since this is the last week of his app, he knows he's in huge trouble next week if Haley stays. This makes sense to me why he would want her gone first, but it appears Faisal is the target of the group, so I don't know. I wonder now, though, if production will announce when all apps have expired or not on Thursday to incentivize the other players to target Tyler, because mostly all of them know about his power at this point that's left in the game. And see, here's my thing. I think it is a responsibility of production to announce when there's no more power apps in the game. I think it's their responsibility. I think it's their responsibility. Because if you let everyone know they're expired, then no one else has fear of the unknown anymore. Okay? But if you don't let them know it's expired, then that's just falling right into my hands of proving that you want Tyler to have this Tyler Perry idol in theory for the entire game. So you'll never expose that it's expired. And let's keep it real. The real reason why JC hasn't been nominated at all is because a lot of people thought he had the app that Tyler has. So once that cat's at the bag, JC can be a pawn, Tyler can be a pawn, everyone can get this smoke. But until y'all announce some shit on Thursday, I doubt it. And most likely they will. They'll probably wait until the battle back starts and says, all power apps are now ceased. And that is why the battle back will begin. And they'll probably also announce that. That way, instead of saying Bailey's doesn't work anymore, they can say none of them work anymore. That way they aren't accused of being blatantly racist. That's neither here nor there, though. But anyway. Oh, man. All right, so... So JC says the only reason why Faisal stayed in the game this long was to be the bridge to the other side. This isn't new information to any feedsters, but it's good to hear a player explain their game a bit. I just don't get why JC thinks Faisal has no further value in the game if he's this dumb. Faisal is a number for JC. Why doesn't he see this for himself? Why is he scared of Brett when Faisal has his back? All of this feels like production wants Faisal gone more than Haley, so level 4 is making sense out of getting Faisal out first. Feeds cut for nominations. All right, for about I'd say about maybe 2.5 hours, feeds cut for nominations. What? No, this wasn't about 2.5. Was it about 2? No, it couldn't have been that long. No, it wasn't that long. It wasn't that long. It just looked that way because that was the only timestamp I had after the 3:25 one. 6:01 p.m. camera 3. Feeds returned an hour and 20 minutes. Like, okay, so it was an hour and 20. All right, there we go. Yeah, I try to put shit in it just in case I doubt myself. Everyone is quiet except Angela, of course, who runs up to the HOH room as fast as she can to take pride in her cowardice. Tyler, of course, follows her up to the HOH room, but before he does, pay attention to how he stares down at Haley and watches her as he walks up the staircase. He had that crazy lifeguard look in his eyes. Y'all know, I mentioned this before. When he's in front of the mirror, sometimes you see the actual, like, evil in his eyes sometimes, you know? And I'm telling you, man, after nominations, when Haley is sitting there, she's just staring off in a blank space. Tyler is, like, mixing something. I think he's mixing a protein shake or something. And he's just mixing and then all of a sudden he looks up and then he looks dead to this, like deadpans, dead at her, thinking that she's watching him doing what he's doing, but she's not. She's blanking off into space. And he just thinks, because when you're part of something that's dirty tactics, you're paranoid. So he thinks she's looking at him. He looks right up and he looks at her kind of crazy eye and he kind of stares at her his entire walk back upstairs. It was very, very weird. But see, that's the real Tyler in my mind. He in the back of his mind, he is so happy Haley is on that block because she put him up. you know, but you notice he don't give none of those death stares to a man. I've never once seen him give one of them stares to Swaggy, one of them stares to Faisal. You can call Faisal as dumb as you want to call him. You don't want that smoke. Oh, he a genius with them hands, though. Yeah, see, that's where niggas don't want to talk that shit. And see, that's what I'm saying, man. All this shit gonna come to light. Y'all let production let y'all talk a lot of hot shit about a lot of people. That finale, they gonna see what's up. And you ain't gonna be able to use the excuse every time that, oh man, it's for entertainment. Nah. You talked about the death of your dad with Swaggy. That wasn't for entertainment. They even hid it from the edit and then allowed you to claim your dad again after the fact, after Swaggy was well gone. So no, don't give me that shit. It's just entertainment. No. This shit is personal for you too. Now, everyone is quiet except Angela, of course, who runs up to the HOH room as fast as she can to take pride in her cowardice. Tyler, of course, follows her up to the HOH room, but before he does, he stares down at Haley and watches her as he walks up the staircase. He had that look in his eyes again, that look he only has towards women he hates, the same look he wouldn't dare throw Swaggy's way. Angela admits to Tyler her heart was racing during the nom ceremony. Why would her heart be racing at all if she's truly about that life, though? This lets me know she's being something she isn't to win the acceptance of lifeguard Xerxes and help him win the game by any means. She's a damn ringer, ladies and gentlemen. Tyler looks in love with this girl after that speech, and she didn't really say shit in the speech. So trust me when I say this is some shit this months in the making, and I don't mean in the game months in the making. And if that speech is anything like her others, I know I won't be impressed, just like I wasn't impressed by her speech about Bailey. I think Angela's a little bit jealous of Haley because she keeps blaming her for why the men around her get sent home. But Brett isn't being targeted, and Brett has spent a lot of time around Haley, and Brett is supposed to be this free agent, right, Angela? So surely using that logic, shouldn't Brett be up next to Faisal? I just don't get it. But once again, this proves that there is flaw. Their reasoning and motivations are flawed because it's not fully thought out. And the majority of her speech, she thought of herself. And that's why it sounds so shambolic. Whereas if Tyler would have helped her come up with it, it probably would have sounded like it made more sense in the game. But, you know, I just don't like it when people try to act like all of a sudden they care about how you feel emotionally. So they're going to target someone for mistreating you, like Sam and shit. Like, Sam, stop worrying about what my penis is up to. You feel it, dig me? You know, you stick with your husband, the shower head over there, and y'all get it popping over there. Have a honeymoon, coach. You know what I'm saying? I'll have Brett send you some cookies with some whipped cream on top so you can cream on your damn top. Anyway, let me stop. Oh, man. So a sound game player should know Brett isn't a free agent by this speech alone. Tyler plans to go to Faisal and tell him he didn't know about these noms. I expect Faisal to believe him because he believes everything. But notice how scary Angela is when she sees Haley working out. She runs up to her HOH door to lock it, proving she did the same thing with Bailey. She's a damn coward. She's locking the door on a 21-year-old girl, and her pulse was pounding from a speech involving a 21-year-old girl. This gives me all the information I need to stress Bailey must come back. If Haley has this chick this scared, Bailey definitely had her scared for her life. Them sending Faisal home would be incredible because Bailey and Haley would strike fear into everyone. The only people who shouldn't be mad at this is Sam and Brett. They would gain the most from Bailey and Haley in the final 8. 6:33 p.m. camera 4. Notice how... Oh, I said thirsty, but it says thrifty. That's why I was like, wait, whoa, thrifty. Notice how thirsty the cameramen are to see Faisal at a low moment here. They are staring at him with a hat over his eyes, hoping he's crying, but he's really just trying to nap. How they are filming feeds post-noms tells me who they want to go home by this alone. 6:50 p.m., roughly about 17 minutes after what I just mentioned on camera 3. Faisal and Haley are getting their only alone time together after noms, and both want to go home together. I didn't really like seeing this or hearing this from Haley. I understood it from Faisal because this motherfucker doesn't even understand what he's involved in right now. He doesn't understand why it's important, yada, yada, yada. He's not learning any life lessons from the gameplay. He's just checked out, basically. Whereas Haley is kind of feeding into his defeatist mindset, and I'm not liking this. And this is why Bailey needs to come in. But Haley wants Faisal to go further in this game than her. but I can tell she's reading into the speech, which was designed to make her think she's the target when it's actually Faisal. More unnecessary gameplay by Angela here because her and Tyler can't help themselves. They work for blindsides that aren't necessary just to embarrass others. If Tyler thinks he's going to be able to act like he's showman's level close to Angela, but has no influence over her till the end, he will be another Paul, okay? I see why Angela and Tyler are made for one another. They're both cowards, all right? You know, and I'll eventually think of a way to flip that Hilton head hotties on your ass. I'm going to figure out a way. I'm going to think of a nickname. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get you, okay? It might be on the next rant. I'm gonna get you. On the fly, I can't really think of H's right now. Angela tells Casey, Brett, and Tyler she plans to make him and the showmans have-nots. JC walked in on Faisal and Haley, brought them some cookies, and got them to come to the kitchen to eat. JC then runs upstairs to where the rest of the level 6 are. Of course, level 6 wants to know if Faisal is sad or not because they're evil in nature. These are the type of people, oh, we're gonna break a deal with you. Then we're gonna send this midget to go see if you're crying or not to make us feel great about it. That's some new level villain shit. But once again, let a Tyler fan tell it, he's the protagonist. Only because he's the only fucking narrator. But okay, whatever. We can run with that. Anyway. JC tells them Faisal was laughing about it, and all of them looked mad that Faisal isn't allowing them and their cowardice to make him react emotionally. Like I've said previously, Faisal cares more about Haley of Troy than he does the game, so someone breaking this deal won't make him lose it. But the fact that they are all contributing to this unnecessary gameplay is exactly why this season is in trouble. It's boring and predictable now. If the battle back comp ends with another level 6 HOH like it did in BB19, it will be another flop twist. This season hasn't had one twist that was good yet as it is. And see, that's what I'm worried about, ladies and gentlemen. When people, there was people telling me like, Dave, man, this is a top 5 season. I said, bro, don't speak too soon, brother. We ain't even halfway through this shit. It feel like we are. We ain't even halfway through this shit yet. Now we're technically officially halfway through because this is week 8 and it's about to be reset into another week 8. So we're technically halfway through now. Does this feel like a top 5 season now? Compared to how you felt a few weeks ago, maybe. Because I think a lot of us were caught as prisoners of the moment after Caitlyn got embarrassed by not winning that easy battle back. I think we convinced ourselves this is a legendary season at that moment. But as things went on and went on and went on, I mean, we pretty much got 4 straight weeks after Caitlyn left with no payoff. Basically. And when you have one side that is getting no payoff, I'm sorry, but that limits the fun factor and the entertainment level of your show, of your product. If 50% of, and I'm just saying 50% is just for argument's sake. Let's say it's 50-50. 50% over here likes this side, 50% over here likes that side. If this 50% for an entire month isn't getting a single payoff, guess what? Those numbers are going to drop, then drop, then drop. Why else do y'all think there are people that follow this channel that don't even watch the show anymore? They are part of that demographic 100%. But I guarantee you this, big brother, Bailey comes back, y'all gonna see a spike in y'all ratings because people want to see Bailey. For better or worse, they want to see her. People are a little indifferent towards Scotty. Faisal, I think at this point we all can agree he's a flop. Rockstar, she's real and cool, but without Bailey there to bounce off of her, is she real or cool? We don't know. I mean, we saw her completely choke a power of veto when Bailey wasn't around. So I don't think she deserves another chance off that alone. I mean, she by herself helped Tyler win this game. If he wins it, she by herself can be one of the reasons why he won. But peep game on how Casey mentioned Sam voting for Bailey to stay previously. Angela, of course, remembers this because it happened during her first HOH week, the infamous Hacker Week, Hacker Hells. Casey uses this opportunity to say something I found very interesting, and I'm going to run it by y'all, and I want to see if y'all peep game on what I peeped. All right. Casey said, hopefully Sam learned her lesson. Now, let me ask y'all this real quick. What do you think she meant when she said, hopefully Sam learned her lesson? You know, the casual would say, oh, they mean hopefully Sam learned her lesson from giving Bailey a sympathy vote. Hopefully she learned her lesson. Us, the super fans, the one that know Real Vegas for sure's page and stuff, it makes me have to beg to ask this question. Did she mean Sam learned her lesson from trying to self-evict? Or does she have some privy knowledge to maybe Sam being thrown under the bus by production in the edit, which is what led Sam into humbling herself and running right back to Tyler's teat? These questions need to be asked because when did Sam really learn her lesson for anything? I think she's still being fed medication in the morning because we've heard Faisal mention it. So she didn't really get limited on that deal. So I just don't see what lesson she could have learned. But why am I mentioning this? Because this sounds exactly like what Caitlyn used to say about Bailey not being cooperative enough. Remember that, ladies and gentlemen? Remember how I was the first person to really break this and say, what does she mean by that? What do you mean she's not being cooperative? She's being, they said something. It was a specific word that triggered me. But it was one of those words like people are talking in code and really saying, you're not cooperating with production and what we're trying to do with them, right? So I kind of feel like when Casey says something to the effect of, hopefully Sam learned her lesson, I think she was saying, hopefully she learned her lesson with production. Because from a game perspective, no one was ever going to target Sam next. Especially when she's the only vote in that situation. And I can't bring this up more. I can't mention this enough. If it wasn't for Scotty's dumb ass trying to get her sent home over Rockstar, why the fuck would Scotty want Rockstar to stay over damn Bailey if he's really trying to go after the other side? Because in that moment, he wasn't on our side, y'all. He was level 6 dick riding. That's why he wanted Bailey gone. He was buying the bullshit, even though she had a power that could help him. You feel me? That's the thing, man. When you start taking things in this game personal, even stuff that is logical, you start to rule it out. And that's what Scotty did. He ruled out logic, and logic, I'd argue, should be his biggest strength. So once you got a super nerd, super fan that isn't being logical, what is he good for in the game? Same way, if you got JC with no facial to manipulate, what is he good for in the game? There's a lot of people that are throwing away the one thing that makes them an asset to the powers that be. This sounds exactly like what Caitlyn used to say about Bailey not being cooperative. Both Caitlyn and Casey sound like they are production's pets saying this. What lesson did Sam learn besides from production throwing her under the bus for an episode? They only did that because she tried to self-evict, not because she voted to keep Bailey. So once again, what did Sam learn? And how would Angela and KC both know this if Sam doesn't like them and wouldn't share this information with them herself? It's because they are 3 of production's pets, and production probably put them on game with Sam's behavior to make them feel more safe and secure with how she was acting. That much I don't find bad. But if production is also telling them about Sam being on their bad side, that's problematic because it means they do the same thing for everyone they want gone week by week. Ooh, man, I did it again. Another one. So this is another example of how production controls people with information. Information is currency, baby. It's currency. And we finna cash the fuck out in this rant. There's a lot of info in here that you ain't getting on Sunday's episode. That's for damn sure. Because we ain't even at the damn veto selection yet. So this is a lot of information here that should have been on Sunday, but wasn't. Brett and JC talk about Final Five and are worried about the women. JC is asking Brett to let him handle things socially, but Brett is too smart to fall for this. JC wants Brett to be as dumb as Faisal has been this season, just so he can turn Haley on him. I see a JC versus Brett week brewing in a couple of weeks, and the winner will most likely have all of Sam's loyalty. I just don't get why they aren't working with Sam to go after Tyler. Saturday. This is post-veto selection, ladies and gentlemen. 10:24 a.m. camera 4. I was hoping Faisal would pull out this veto because Casey and Angela were talking that hot shit about him leaving if he doesn't win. Apparently, Faisal did something at the veto selection that has people calling him stupid. Something to look out for on Wednesday. And I guess the dumb thing that Haley did was picking Sam for veto. And I guess a lot of people are like, why the fuck would you pick Sam? Sam was the one who wanted you backdoored last week by your boyfriend. So that's why some people were clowning Haley, calling her stupid. But who else did she have to choose from? She should have chose fucking Tyler for another veto? I mean, only 6 people can compete and there's only 8 in the fucking game, coach. You see what I'm saying? Like, she didn't have many to choose from, coach. It was either Sam or Tyler. Probably. And we'll see on Wednesday. But for them to clown her for choosing Sam, it's almost like, how dare you not allow Tyler to play in every competition? How dare you? You know? Whatever. The entitlement, bro. But yeah, the women do look a bit scared, though, because Tyler wasn't picked for a veto for once. 10:45 a.m. camera 2. Faisal believes he's on the block. He's only on the block because Angela didn't want him using veto on Haley. keeping them both safe. If only he knew how much these people hate him for no reason. He's been so nice to these people, and they clown him for being dumb. Anyone else they villainize on this moral high horse, but since they can't with oblivious Faisal, they label him a buffoon instead. I didn't see the edit make Josh look like half a buffoon as it tries to make Faisal, who isn't cooning like Josh was. That should tell you right there the agenda in the damn edit. How does Josh buffoon as much as he does and makes it to the end and is actually allowed to say, I did all of this on purpose because I know business? You know what I'm saying? Like, how is he able to do that shit? You know, but Faisal gets clowned the next exact season just for being who he is, a fucking recruit. You know what I'm saying? More recruits will play this way if some of them were designed to be on the winning side. But that's neither here nor there. Also, have y'all noticed how every person of color, well, I mentioned that already. I ain't going to rehash that. All right, post veto comp. As soon as I started noticing this, something I already said, I try my best to skip over it. But, you know, a lot of times I'll be in autopilot. Fees were cut for the veto comp for about 9 hours. They come back and Faisal is visibly pissed about not winning. I'm interested to see why this veto took so long to finish because of the end result. Faisal wants out the house. He's over it. This pisses me off because I would give up a lot to have the opportunity that he's throwing away. Haley, of course, is continuing to mingle, as she should, to stay. Haley must stay by any means necessary. If she leaves, a member of Level 6 is guaranteed to win this game. It's that simple. If I'm Faisal, I throw JC. I know JC threw the veto based off how happy he is after it. I mean, JC was in the kitchen just joking around like shit was cool. At the end of the day, Faisal expected you to win that to take him off. And I don't think you gave a fuck. I think you put it all on Faisal to win it, even though he was there with his girl. And if JC, if you didn't want to be a replacement Nom, surely it behooves you to win it unless you were in on it. So once again, this is another example of Faisal being a recruit. He isn't able to read between the lines on things I'd be able to notice immediately. Okay. This is bad gameplay for JC. Feeds continue for another hour or so with people discussing the veto comp. Turns out the veto comp had something to do with catching balls. How convenient. The veto Faisal needs to win the most happens to be tailor-made for Casey, the women's football wide receiver, to win, and she only won by 1 point at that. So you got Big Brother going out of their way to try to rig comps for these people, and they're barely winning them. I think that shows you these motherfuckers is trash in competitions. All right. These dudes got extra sleep just to get washed by Fessy 2 weeks ago. Faisal 2 weeks ago. I mean, washed. Okay. Like, for real. Tyler's a paper champion. Also, notice how all those people who said the hacker twist was rigged for Haley, defending Tyler getting them sleeping pills, have nothing bad to say about a comp being rigged for KC. And let's not forget, this was the only veto comp Tyler hasn't played in all season. So what better way to rig something under our nose than for them to stop rigging something else right before it? Ooh, the perfect misdirection. If Haley at all used her period after the veto comp as strategy to grow closer to Haley and Angela, to Casey and Angela, she is very smart because she went from saying she's cleaning the bathroom to asking Angela for something to stop the bleeding, to her asking Angela to let her shower upstairs, to Angela and Casey telling her to relax the rest of the week because Faisal's leaving. Even though they plan to get rid of Faisal anyway, I think just like her fake crying, Hales keeps finding a way to survive even though she is the biggest immediate threat. I applaud the fight she continues to display against a stacked opposition. And I highly doubt she will target Brett like JC or Tyler wants her to, because Brent wasn't the one that got Faisal out or Bailey. That was Angela, which is once again why I don't get Angela wanting to keep Haley if she isn't working for production and Tyler. Ding, ding, ding. Sunday, 12:31 a.m. Camera 2. Level 4 celebrates their incredible position in the game. Turns out Haley picked Sam with her house guest choice, so people really think she's an idiot because Sam hates her. I'm sure she chose Sam just because she knew she could beat her in the comp, more so than anything else. They are so excited Faisal's going home next, but I don't get why Tyler or Casey want this. Haley can beat them all at the end. They then continue to caress each other's egos and pull in each other's dicks for another 30 minutes. 12:50 a.m. Camera 3. JC is talking to Faisal and is convinced he isn't possibly a floater because he has a social game, and Victoria from BB16 didn't have a social game. Why is he comparing himself to Victoria? What is going on here? Him comparing himself to her lets me know that's probably the only season he's seen besides 19, because he mentions Josh a lot from 19. Faisal tells JC he has his vote when he gets eliminated. This is important to mention because this could change when Faisal finds out the truth in the jury house. So it's worth documenting. Put it into the time capsule, my good sir. Then JC has the audacity to say Swaggy is one of the worst players of all time. You know, there's something about this JC guy that is very racist. You know what I mean? Like, he shits on Faisal's life, even though Faisal has treated him amazingly. Like, there's something to that there. But he refuses to ever say anything bad about Tyler behind Tyler's back. Even in confessional, nothing bad to say about anybody on Tyler's side. Nothing. You know? I mean, he might say something bad about Sam here and there, but that's his friend. He feels like he can say whatever he wants about her. But notice, he's never as hard on Sam as his friend as he is on Faisal as his friend. Never, never, never. So that's not even really his friend. But my point is, man, Swaggy is the worst player to ever play the game. You know, he calls Steve a bitch because Steve treated him badly before feeds came on. We don't even know if that's true. But I can't help but notice that brother Steve Arienta looked very melanated in his skin tone as well. So just do the math here. JC, a self-hating Latino short man, seems to despise and or hate Bailey, Swaggy, Steve, and Faisal. I can't do nothing but connect the dots here that it must be because of how they look. Because all four of them are vastly different. Faisal is nothing like Swaggy. Swaggy is nothing like Bailey. Bailey is nothing like them too. You see what I'm saying? And Steve, he was only around this man for like 14 days. Like, what's the beef we got with Steve? You know what I'm saying? But this lets me know JC holds grudges, man. He gonna be a bitter juror, boy. Depending on when he's on that damn jury, oh, he gonna be even more bitter. Man, I hope he shares the tea about Tyler if he gets eliminated. And I think that's why Tyler wants to take him as far as he can, because JC has the receipts, coach. I think JC might have more of these. Who has more receipts on Tyler? JC or Brett? I think it might be JC at this point. Because I think since jury has started, I think JC's been doing more work. Brett's just been on the block playing it cool. But JC, I'd argue, has been gathering more intel and has been doing more work that is more necessary, which is why, once again, why would you want Faisal to go? It's almost like you're a computer scientist, right? You're putting in code into a machine, into a computer. And then something comes over your mind. Let me invent a machine that can do my job for me. Okay, if you have the patent for that technology, great. But if you don't, you just work towards making your own job description obsolete. It makes no sense. But let me continue. JC seems to hate black people. He shits on Swaggy and Bailey every chance he gets for no reason when they aren't around to defend themselves. Then he shits on, and he said the N-word. So let's provide that context too. Then he shits on Faisal when he isn't around. But notice, JC never has anything bad to say about anyone of white descent. Nothing. He might say something bad about Rockstar, but Rockstar hangs around black folks. So that might be a guilty by association thing. You know, but why don't you hate yourself if you're around Faisal? I just don't get this. JC wants the same acceptance Scotty and Bailey wanted from these people. That's the sad truth there. He wants the same acceptance, and I'm going to hold him accountable the same exact way. At least Faisal could care less about their acceptance. That much I at least respect about him. Faisal ain't here to make friends, you know. Faisal, once he figured out what he wanted to stay here for, that's all he wanted to be here for. He ain't got time to impress a whole bunch of strangers that he ain't going to rock with after the game. And see, I already know how this going to work. The people, after this season is over, the people that everyone is going to want to kick it with because they going to have the best parties, they going to have the flyest, they just going to have the best post-game lifestyle. It's probably going to be Swaggy. It's going to be Bailey. It's probably going to be Faisal. You know, all the people they treated like shit. Definitely Steve, because Steve, once they figure out he was a cop, oh, please believe they're going to start dick riding him because they're going to be scared of that smoke too. You know, oh, we did Steve grimy, especially Tyler. Tyler's going to really be a bitch towards Steve. You already know. I'm so sorry. I had no idea you was law enforcement. Yeah, we're going to see a lot of that fuckboy shit from Tyler. But at the end of the day, though, we gonna see. It's going to be a lot of fuck shit at play here. But anyway. Notice how Faisal mentions Haley would have gone home if he had one veto and JC snitched on himself. Faisal told him he would be up next to Haley if he used veto on himself, and JC says he doesn't know that because they could have made a deal. This is what I mentioned a little bit earlier. A sound game player would have asked him why he didn't make the same deal for Faisal before Noms and before veto, but of course a recruit doesn't ask these questions. Haley walks in and talks to them both about the veto and how close they were to winning it. Hales is sure a twist is coming, but they aren't sure which one it is. Faisal now regrets sending Scotty home. It's a little too late for that, my good sir. Yeah, I mean, you did what you did. It's over with now. And see, that's my problem. If you're gonna be that guy, I want you to be that guy at all times. Don't regret it now. You know, because I could tell the look on Haley's face, like, nigga. She had that look. You know, when your girl got that look, like, I tried to tell your dumb ass, but you just wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, Faisal now regrets sending Scotty home, but he says what I've been saying. Circumstances led him to doing what he felt was right at the time. Faisal doesn't want to go to sequester, and I don't blame him, but it's part of the game. Swaggy would kill right now to make jury with his girl Bailey. At least Faisal is making jury with his girl. He needs to stop acting like a beta male and just take the L. It sounds like he isn't giving production the confessionals they want either, because he was explaining to Haley that they wanted him to come into the DR and basically narrate the veto competition. But because Faisal lost the competition by 1 point, he is in a state of mind right now where he doesn't even want to play it off like there's a chance he could win it. Because you know, all of those confessionals happen after the comp already happened. They make them put on basically the same outfit that they wore in the comp, and then they explain everything as if it hasn't happened yet. So they're like, and that was gets the most confessionals during the comp they've already won in. That's why they're getting the most. And that's how the whole edit thing works for us. We read between the lines. If there were no feeds, we probably could figure out who won the HOH comp on Sunday night just based off the fact that Angela was getting all of this bullshit in her edit talking about, I kind of know what I want to do. I'm tired of having blood on my hands. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff that is irrelevant unless she wins it. You know what I'm saying? Why mention this before she won it if she isn't going to win it? That type thing. All right. Oh snap. Give me 1 second. All right, I'm back where I was. See, I told y'all, man, I ain't gonna be stalled out like last time. I ain't going, coach. But yeah, so Faisal doesn't want to go to sequestration. I don't blame him, but it's part of the game. Swaggy would kill to make jury with his girl. At least Faisal is making jury with his. It's time for him to stop acting like a beta male and take the L. It sounds like he isn't giving production the confessionals they want either. So I expect them, as in production, to throw Faisal under the bus a lot during this veto competition tomorrow. I think it's going to happen because he wasn't giving them what they wanted. And we have seen them when Sam doesn't give them what they want, they make sure that they dedicate that next episode to tarnishing the person's name. Now, the thing is, it's not much more you can do to Faisal's game to tarnish him. But production usually finds a way. They usually come up with a montage to make you look even more dumb. And that's what I'm really worried about. I hope they don't show a montage of him doing a whole bunch of dumb shit. And because that has really nothing to do with this week if they do that, but it's possible. Don't rule it out based off the fact that he ain't playing ball. Feeds were pretty dry the rest of Sunday, ladies and gentlemen, so I think y'all will understand it because I didn't really write nothing else down. Monday comes around. The veto ceremony happened from 11:21 a.m. to 12:05 p.m. noon. The veto was not used by Beast Mode Cowgirl, who is KC. She wins the veto competition, of course, because it was meant for a wide receiver to win. It's just that simple. 12:20 p.m. camera 2. Faisal wonders why Haley is hanging out with everyone. He is no longer thinking about the game. It's best for Haley to hang with everyone to stay. But at the same time, now that I know Faisal lost veto by 1 point, I get why he's over this shit too. The only good thing I see possibly coming from this is production learning their lesson with recruiting people like Faisal and Sam, and they eventually start replacing them with more superfans. Superfans don't self-evict. They don't give up when the chips are down, ladies and gentlemen. And more importantly, superfans know they have a responsibility to play hard for the fans that didn't make the cut. They know that. And see, that could add a lot of pressure to their game, which leads to them not living up to the hype. But it could also allow them to rise above it. And it can allow them to become like a true legendary character because of it. Because we followed them from the jump and knew they were a super fan. I feel like Tyler is getting this. He's getting paraded around as this. But we got to remember, man, Tyler hasn't faced any adversity. He's not a true super fan at heart. Tyler is what I call a coach's kid. And I'm going to break that down a little bit longer. I mean, a little bit later, by the way. I'm going to break down the difference between a coach's kid and a walk-on. When I get into that, y'all are going to get it. I think y'all are going to get it. And most of y'all already get it because y'all rock with me. But the ones who's just here stopping by for a split second, y'all going to get it soon. Anyway, I'm about to discuss this right now, actually. I didn't even notice. Seeing as Faisal is a former college athlete, I thought it would only be right for me to come up with a comparison of why this season is just like college sports. Let me get some water. Y'all know me. I give y'all one that's like exclusive. All right, coach. Get at him, Smitty. All right, here we go. Recruits in Big Brother are usually the coach's sons of any sports team. This I'm starting off crazy. All right, let me start off. DJ, spin that, run that back. All right. Recruits in Big Brother are usually the coach's sons on any sports team. No one respects them in the game because they all suspect they didn't earn their spot on the team or in the game like the rest had to. The super fan, conversely, is usually the walk-on. The person who had to work at their craft over and over, fail at tryouts or auditions, and come back stronger for the next season, hoping to be picked. These are two vastly different personality traits and temperaments. All right, now watch me explain this. Walk-ons and superfans come out of nowhere and only make the team because of our love for the sport far exceeds the coach's kids' love for the sport. Walk-ons aren't the popular kids or the rich, spoiled brats. The coach's son is basically production's pet here. They will always have the inside track on playing time as long as they kiss the ring. In this season, though, the walk-ons aren't the super fans. The walk-ons are the hive. The coach's sons are all level 6. Let me explain. The reason I love the casting at the start of this season, ladies and gentlemen, was because so many archetypes appear to be fusions. Now I know why. It was to throw the super fans that really read between the matrix like I do and decipher it. It was to throw most of us intellectuals off the scent of rigging by giving us what appear to be more walk-ons than coaches' kids. But as the game moved along, we started to figure out the only reason it's so entertaining is because we have so many entitled production pets on the same season vying for the same acceptance from other pets. Dave is breaking this shit down into a science. This, mixed in with the jury stipend that increases per week, fully incentivizes people to not play to win, but play not to lose. Here we go. This is the first season I can remember where most casuals root for the spoiled coach's kids over the underdog walk-ons. Level 6 is the nerd herd. They are the friendship cult. They are what we've always hated. The difference is people like their leader this season, and it's affecting how they root for the walk-ons now. Ooh. The very fabric super fandom was built on for this game is in disarray because of a guy with ramen noodle hair. Shout out to Andrew. But he's straightening that shit out now. He really trying to look like lifeguard Xerxes now. You feel it, dig me? But anyway. If that doesn't explain why I call him lifeguard Jesus, nothing else will. Because I think that comparison, that analogy, broke down in a nutshell why I don't like level 6. And I think if you refer anybody that doesn't understand why we don't like level 6, I think if you refer all of them to the timestamp of me expressing that and explaining that right there, I think they'll get it. Because if you understand sports, you understand that analogy wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly. All right, Tuesday, which is early today, 12:58 a.m., cameras 1 through 4. Now, this is just something I noticed, okay? The Tuesday feed stuff, this is just me to pad a little bit, but Faisal tells Haley he plans to freestyle something about her on Thursday with his speech. He gives her a gist of it to make her at ease, and she flips. And she flips it, thinking it could keep him in the game. Haley sounds defeated. Either that, or she wants Faisal to fall on his sword. Sam eventually interrupts them, asking them to finish the laundry for them. They eventually come back to making a bet over who flipped. They both start laughing and accusing each other. Allegedly, Sam overheard level 6 making fun of how crazy she is over an intercom. This is great because I think if Bailey comes back, Bailey can work with Sam plus whoever stays between Faisal and Haley. Bailey also seems to be the only person who can bridge Haley and Sam into working together because of her relationship with both women. Scotty has a great relationship with both women too, but I fear Scotty hasn't had enough time away to reflect and is prone to repeating the same mistakes. Scotty improves the chances of Brett possibly flipping, but he also lowers the chance of Sam working with Haley to begin with. Without Sam, why bother trying to flip Brett? But I guess you could argue, without Brett, why bother trying to flip Sam? I don't know. Maybe Scotty does have an equal chance as Bailey to maybe get Brett and Sam to flip with Haley. I'm not sure. It really just depends on the temperament of Brett. But I think Brett just sees Scotty too much of a threat. Now, maybe Scotty returning into the game, maybe that lowers his threat because he's already been eliminated. And maybe now Brett takes him to the end thinking there's no way he can beat me at the end now because he's already lost. I don't know. But this is important for me to mention. I'm trying my best to be as fair as I can to be to everyone in this battle back scenario because I truly believe if it's not Bailey, it has to be Scotty. It has to be one of those two. I prefer Bailey. I can't knock you for preferring Scotty. But I think if we want entertainment, if we want good feeds, if we want Tyler sweating, we need Bailey, not Scotty. Scotty doesn't put any fear into Tyler. Tyler was punching his hands and kicking pillows around around Scotty. Was he doing that shit around Bailey? Was he doing that shit about Swaggy? And we also need Bailey back in this game because we want Tyler to be in more situations to disrespect Bailey. That way he can get this smoke sent to his door. You feel what I'm saying? Ulterior motives. Scenarios. But anyway, this makes Bailey the optimal choice for entertainment, strategy, and late game flexibility, in my opinion. I think it would be a tall task to ask of someone with Sam's skill set to flip, but something tells me Brett can see the logic in going 4 versus 3 in the final 7 if one of Bailey or Haley won the next HOH post-reset. As a result, I found this week to be both boring and interesting based off of how things could shake out. But strategically, much didn't really happen this week. So, I basically made wine out of water my damn self. You feel it, dig me? Anyway, the last thing I want y'all to notice, I already mentioned that. So at the end of the day, this has been rant number 24 of Recency Bias Radio, where no one is safe from criticism. Prepare for battle. I think I have set you all up nicely for tomorrow's episode, and I will be here live on Thursday night taking questions, discussing what just went down on the previous 2 episodes, and we will definitely take more of a deep dive into how the game is being rigged. So I truly appreciate all of you all for coming through. If you could, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you could, on the right side of my channel's page, click on that bell so you could be here with the most lit live chat in Big Brother 20 history, bar none. Thank you once again to the mighty mods for holding me down like no other. You guys make a sacrifice that is definitely noble. And I'm Dave Smith. This is Recency Bias Radio, and I'm out, baby. Y'all be smooth.